Chapter 1851. Chui Li was even more powerful. 1 against 6, not only was he not at a disadvantage, but he was also suppressing the white-haired old man and the others. The portrait of 10,000 beasts was extremely terrifying. As for the golden divine leopard, it was also in a stalemate with the golden qilin. Both of them had different degrees of injuries on their bodies. The golden qilin had a superior grade armor. But the golden divine leopard also had a divine artifact. This divine artifact was the divine bow that Qin Feiyang had snatched from the monkey-faced old man. This divine bow was comparable to the divine phoenix saber, which meant that it was also a superior grade divine artifact. The night was getting darker. But the battle on Demonic Dragon Island was getting more and more intense. Whether it was the demon ancestors' side or Qin Feiyang's side, their divine power was rapidly depleting. At the same time, spiritual state. Butterfly Valley. The golden mermaid stood in the void with 7 pairs of wings flapping slowly. Like a demon god, it looked down coldly. Whoosh! Soon. 4 divine lights pierced through the sky and landed in front of the golden mermaid. On their backs, there were also 7 pairs of wings. That's right. They were the other 4 war gods of the mermaid clan. Black-winged mermaid. White-winged mermaid. How is it? The golden mermaid looked at the 4 of them and asked. One of the black-winged mermaids said, the teleportation altars of the other 8 states can't be activated either. What is the demon ancestor doing? Why didn't he protect such an important passage? The golden mermaid said angrily. But he didn't know that it was the demon ancestor who asked Zhuge Mingyang to destroy the teleportation altars in the imperial capital. What should we do now? The 4 of them looked at the golden mermaid. The golden mermaid pondered for a moment, and murderous intent surged in his eyes. He said coldly, since we can't kill our way into the imperial capital, then let's massacre the 9 states. When the 4 of them heard this, not only did they not object to the cruel method of the golden mermaid, they all laughed sinisterly. The golden mermaid waved his hand, and dozens of figures appeared in unison. Among these people, there were black-winged mermaids and white-winged mermaids. But without exception, they all had 6 pairs of wings. In other words, these dozens of mermaids were all false gods. Everyone, the time for revenge has come. Enjoy the slaughter to your heart's content. The golden mermaid laughed sinisterly. Kill. The dozens of mermaids immediately scattered and disappeared in all directions like lightning. They were all filled with murderous intent. The capital of the spiritual state was the first to bear the brunt. The 2 mermaids, one white and one black, were like death gods, descending upon the continent's capital. The aura of a false god shrouded the entire area. Late at night, the city had already quieted down. However, because of the arrival of these 2 people, the city instantly boiled over. However, before they could figure out what was going on, the might of a semi-divinity realm cultivator suddenly descended from the sky. Accompanied by despairing and miserable screams, the entire city was destroyed in an instant. Not a single person in the city was left alive. They were all buried. This was a night of bloodshed. There were people wailing and howling everywhere in the 9 great prefectures, imperial capital. When midnight arrived, Old Man Qin couldn't wait to open the space-time gate and descend above Yuzhou's capital. He didn't come to the spiritual state because he was worried that the mermaids would gather in the Butterfly Valley. After all, the ocean of despair was in the spiritual state. When he arrived in the sky above Yuzhou City, a strong smell of blood immediately assaulted his nostrils. The old man's body shook violently. Did what he was worried about happen? He quickly lowered his head and looked down at the city below. What entered his sight was a scene that looked like Azura hell. The city was torn apart and dilapidated. The streets were littered with corpses. Dazzling blood dyed the entire city red. Even the void was filled with a bloody mist that couldn't be dispersed. Why, looking at this scene, old man Qin clenched his fists tightly, and tears flowed from his old eyes. What does this grudge have to do with these ordinary people? Why are they so cruel? Where is their humanity? Where is their conscience? Old man Qin roared towards the sky. His angry hair danced in the air, and a monstrous murderous aura rushed out of his body. At the same time, his divine sense emerged and spread out in all directions. The entire Yuzhou was instantly covered by his spiritual will. The entire land of Yuzhou was littered with corpses and blood flowed like rivers. The tragic scene made one's hair stand on end. He even saw 6 mermaids madly slaughtering one village after another. The people living in those villages were all mortals who had no strength to truss a chicken. How could they do this? Damn it, all of you deserve to die. Old man Qin roared into the sky, teleported, crossed the void, and rushed towards the 6 mermaids. Before leaving, Emperor Hong and the Emperor warned him not to be impulsive. However, when he saw this scene, old man Qin immediately threw their warnings to the back of his mind. He couldn't bear it. Now, he only had one thought: kill all these inhumane beasts. Die, die. In the sky above a mountain, a white-winged mermaid crazily used the power of the pseudo-god to bombard the village below. In the village, there were hundreds of people, all ordinary people. However, in an instant, they were smashed into pieces by the power of the pseudo-god. Not even their bones were left. They didn't even have the chance to ask why they were killed. Awesome! After 10,000 years of silence, I can finally kill. All the people on this continent must die. In the future, there will only be us mermaids on this land. There will be no more humans. The mermaid laughed wildly, his spiritual will enveloped all directions, and he killed to the next village. But suddenly, he turned his head to look ahead, a trace of surprise crawling in his eyes. There was an aura approaching at an extremely fast speed. Moreover, it wasn't the aura of a mermaid, but the aura of a human. Human war god. Suddenly, with a quiver, he immediately took out the image crystal. The next moment, the phantom of the Golden Mermaid appeared. What's wrong? The Golden Mermaid asked. The white-winged mermaid said, I sense the aura of a human war god in Yuzhou, and it's coming towards me. Give me the coordinates. Then run away immediately. The Golden Mermaid said. Yes. The white-winged mermaid nodded. However, just as he told the Golden Mermaid the coordinates, an old figure teleported over and landed above him. It was Old Man Qin. You deserve to die. Old Man Qin looked at the Golden Mermaid and directly slapped the white-winged mermaid. Ah! Accompanied by a scream, the white-winged mermaid's body shattered, and blood splashed across the sky. Damn it, you dare to kill my clansman. Butterfly Valley. The Golden Mermaid roared again and again, immediately opening the portal and rushing in. At the same time, Old Man Qin also opened a teleportation door and walked in without looking back. Although he was extremely angry at this moment, he did not lose his mind because of this. The other party had 5 war gods. If he faced them head-on, he would definitely die. Therefore, he was prepared to fight a guerrilla war. The other party was a war god, and so was he. The other party could open a portal, and so could he. As long as he did not confront them head-on, the other party could not do anything to him. Whoosh! When the Golden Mermaid and the other 4 arrived in Yuzhou, Old Man Qin killed another black-winged mermaid. Bang! Seeing that Old Man Qin had disappeared, the 5 of them were furious and immediately released their divine senses, enveloping the entire Yuzhou. Sensing their divine senses, Old Man Qin decisively gave up the idea of continuing to chase the other mermaids in Yuzhou. He opened the portal and entered Feng State. Because if he continued to stay in Yuzhou, sooner or later, he would be surrounded by the 5 of them. After all, their divine senses had already locked onto him. And each of the 9 major states was very big. Even for a beginner war god, the maximum range of their divine senses could only cover 1 state. Therefore, now that old man Qin had changed his position and entered Feng state, their divine senses could no longer lock onto him. In short, no matter what price he had to pay, today, he had to kill all the mermaids. Damn it! Seeing that old man Qin had disappeared, the golden mermaid was burning with anger. This is not good. After entering the portal, he did not appear in our divine senses, which means that he has already left Yuzhou. Apart from Yuzhou, there are 8 other states. How do we find him? He is obviously trying to fight a guerrilla war with us. The other 4 mermaids also had worried looks on their faces. Split up and search. No matter what, we have to find him. The golden mermaid shouted, his eyes full of resentment. Big brother, calm down. Even if we split up and search, we can only go to 5 states at the same time. Moreover, we don't know if there are other war gods hiding in the 9 major states. If there are, once we split up, won't we be defeated by them one by one? This method is definitely not reliable. I think we should immediately recall all our clansmen and gather at Butterfly Valley, waiting for him to walk into the trap. A black-winged mermaid said. I agree. The 18 counties of the 9 states have almost been massacred by our clansmen. He will definitely not let it go. He will definitely find a way to kill us for revenge. Another black-winged mermaid also said. The golden mermaid calmed down, pondered for a moment, and nodded. Okay, as you said, immediately go to the major states and gather our clansmen at Butterfly Valley. After saying that, he added, be loud, let that old man know that we are going to Butterfly Valley. Understood. The 4 immediately opened the portal and disappeared. All clansmen, go to Butterfly Valley immediately. For a moment. In the sky above the 9 major states, a loud roar sounded and spread in all directions. In a remote corner of Feng Prefecture, old man Qin stood on a ruin, his blood-stained long robe fluttering in the wind. And right at his feet, there were 3 black-winged mermaids at the pseudo-god level, all of them dead. In addition, there were dozens of villagers, but they were also dead. Go to Butterfly Valley. Old man Qin looked at the distant sky and heard the voice echoing between heaven and earth. His eyes flashed with a bloody light. They even knew to recall their clansmen. These mermaids weren't idiots. If he continued to fight like this, he was confident that it wouldn't be long before he could kill all the pseudo-god level mermaids. However, this was indeed not easy to deal with. All the mermaids were gathered at Butterfly Valley. And they didn't hide it at all. It was obvious. These mermaids were deliberately telling him that they were all in Butterfly Valley. If you have the ability, come. After a while, old man Qin retracted his gaze and glanced at the villagers who had died with their eyes wide open. He muttered, Feiyan, Emperor Hong, Your Majesty, you have repeatedly warned me not to be impulsive. But seeing such a scene, how can I remain indifferent? Old man Qin opened the portal again and entered He Prefecture. Divine sense emerged and covered all directions. All he could see were shattered mountains and rivers, blood-red earth, an endless sea of corpses. Genius remembered the address of this site in a second. Top Point mobile version reading website, M. Chapter 1852. Why do they have to be so crazy? Elder Qin murmured and headed to the other states. Without exception, all of them were plunged into misery and suffering. In the end, apart from the spiritual state, he went to all of them. There were a total of 8 prefectures, and who knew how many billions of people there were. But now, the number of survivors added up to less than 10,000 people. The only reason these people were able to survive was because they were all mortals and lived far away from the city. Why kill these innocent people? What did they do wrong? Elder Qin stepped into the air and walked towards the spiritual state step by step. The other 8 states had suffered such destruction, let alone the spiritual state. Unsurprisingly, in the current spiritual state, apart from the mermaids, there was probably no one alive. As expected. When Elder Qin entered the spiritual state, everywhere he went, he saw corpses and broken limbs. Why is this happening? In the end, he stopped above the city and knelt in the void in pain. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. We were incompetent and couldn't protect you. My heart hurts so much. Elder Qin grabbed the clothes in front of his chest, his face twisted to the extreme. After a long time, he got up and looked in the direction of the Butterfly Valley, saying, Feiyang, don't worry about fighting the demon ancestor. The fate of the mermaid clan will be ended by me. After saying that, he took a step forward and walked towards the Butterfly Valley. Butterfly Valley. The 5 golden mermaids stood side by side and glanced at their clansmen standing in the void opposite them. These people's bodies were all covered in blood. The murderous light in their eyes still did not dissipate. Fortunately, we only lost 11 people. The 4 of them looked at the golden mermaids and smiled. Fortunately, the golden mermaids were furious and shouted at the 4 of them, we only have 51 pseudogods in total, and now we have lost 11 people. How can you still laugh? The 4 of them looked at each other and lowered their heads helplessly. When there was war, there would definitely be casualties. How could they be unscathed? 5 ancestors, who is that old thing? Those pseudogod-level mermaids looked at the 5 of them suspiciously. The golden mermaid said, no matter who it is, they are the enemy of our mermaid clan. What about the demon ancestor? Someone asked. The demon ancestor is too strong. We cannot fall out with him for now. However, I will kill him sooner or later. At that time, this continent will belong to our mermaid race. As for the humans in the imperial capital, either kill them all or become our slaves. The golden mermaid grinned. I prefer the latter. In the past, these damned humans enslaved us and traded us like goods. Now, it's our turn to enslave them. Some of the mermaids grinned hideously. Don't worry, the era that belongs to us merfolk is coming soon. The golden mermaid said. Boom. Suddenly, a terrifying aura, which gradually grew stronger, rolled over from the void in the distance. The group of mermaids raised their eyebrows and looked up. An old man could be seen walking in the air step by step. His murderous aura covered the entire area like a vast ocean. He actually came, and he's alone. He's got guts. With a wave of his hand, the 40 demigod-rank mermaids disappeared. Obviously, the golden mermaid sent them all to the space divine item. 10,000 years ago, the previous emperor could have exterminated your clan. However, out of consideration for the goodness of the heavens, he let you go and even gave you a place to live. Why did you repay kindness with enmity? Elder Qin had already arrived outside the Butterfly Valley and looked at the 5 of them. A place to live? What a joke. May I ask, in what way is our mermaid race worse than you humans? What right do you have to occupy such a large continent, while our merfolk race has to hole up in a tiny place like the Sea of Despair? The golden mermaid sneered. Elder Qin entered the Butterfly Valley and looked at the 5 of them in disappointment. He sighed, I really don't know why the late emperor didn't kill you all back then. That's because he was stupid. He thought that if he let us go, we would be grateful to him. No. We will only hate him more. Our mermaid race is born to be kings. Why should we be at his mercy? And my father, for the sake of the continuation of the mermaid race, had no choice but to follow him. All these years, even in my dreams, I have been thinking about destroying the great Qin Empire and everything he left behind. The Golden Mermaid laughed sinisterly. Father? Elder Qin was stunned and asked suspiciously, You are? I am the son of the first Mermaid Emperor. The four beside me are also the sons of the first Black-Winged Emperor and White-Winged Emperor. The Golden Mermaid said. Elder Qin glanced at the five of them and looked up at the dark night sky. Sorrow came from his heart. Late Emperor, do you see this? This is all the trouble you left behind. Your kindness and benevolence are the fortune of the great Qin Empire and the blessing of the people. However, being merciful to the enemy is being cruel to yourself. If you could be ruthless back then and eliminate the root of the problem, how could the people of the great Qin Empire be killed by them now? Elder Qin roared sorrowfully, his heart aching. He is already dead. Can he hear what you're saying? However, I admire your courage. You knew that we had 5 war gods, but you still dared to come to Butterfly Valley alone. The Golden Mermaid sneered. Killing intent flashed in the eyes of the other 4. Elder Qin turned a deaf ear and looked at the night sky quietly. 2 drops of tears slowly fell from the corners of his eyes. How sad. There are still people in this world who are so loyal to the great Qin Empire. The Golden Mermaid shook his head. Elder Qin retracted his gaze and looked down at the 5 of them. Do ungrateful people like you know what loyalty and sincerity are? You don't understand at all, and you won't understand the pain in my heart at this moment. The 5 of them sneered. Old Man Qin's gaze suddenly became fierce as he said, I dared to come here alone because I had no intention of leaving alive. Not bad. The Golden Mermaid nodded in praise. The fate of the mermaid race has come to an end. Die with the people of the great Qin Empire. Elder Qin suddenly roared, and a destructive aura rushed out of his body. Rumble. Crack. This place instantly collapsed, and the void collapsed. What? This is self-detonation. Have you gone mad? The 5 of them changed color and roared in shock and anger. Yes. Looking at the people of the 9 prefectures lying in pools of blood, I have long gone mad. Go to hell now and repent for the sins you have committed. Elder Qin roared. Quick, run. The Golden Mermaid roared. Boom. But at this moment, suddenly, 2 terrifying divine auras emerged from the depths of the Butterfly Valley. Following closely behind, 2 figures shattered the ground and rushed into the void. The 5 mermaid patriarchs turned to look at the 2 people, their faces full of shock and doubt. Elder Qin looked at the 2 people with a face full of shock. It was a man and a woman. The woman was a beautiful woman wearing a golden battle armor. Her long black hair was tied together, and her aura was incomparably powerful. However, there were cracks on the golden battle armor and it was stained with blood. The other person was an old man in black with a scar above his left eye and bloodstains all over his body. These 2 people were none other than the mysterious Madame and Yishu. When the mysterious Madame and Yishu appeared and saw Elder Qin and the 5 mermaid patriarchs, they were a little stunned. But soon, they were awakened by the destructive aura emitted by Elder Qin at this moment. They said in shock and anger, Elder Qin, what are you doing? Elder Qin immediately stopped self-detonating and looked at the 2 with tears in his eyes. The 2 of them flew to Elder Qin's side like lightning. The mysterious Madame glanced at the 5 mermaid patriarchs and frowned. You self-detonated because of them? Yishu asked, why do they all have wings? They are mermaids. Elder Qin said. Mermaids. The mysterious Madame and Yishu looked at each other, their eyes full of shock. Mermaids with 7 pairs of wings, wasn't that the god of war? Elder Qin cried out in grief. They colluded with the demon ancestor and massacred the 9 prefectures. What? The mysterious madam was furious. She looked at the 5 of them and shouted, "The Qin Emperor once told me about the situation of the mermaid clan. How could you do this? Who are you? What right do you have to interfere with our business?" The Golden Mermaid frowned. "Who am I? Even the first Mermaid Emperor, the Black-Winged Emperor and the White-Winged Emperor, had to respectfully call me madam." The mysterious madam's body trembled, and a terrifying divine aura erupted. God of War. The Golden Mermaid's pupils shrank. But what surprised him the most was what the mysterious madam said. Even his father had to respectfully call her madam? Where did this woman come from? Elder Qin glanced at the 5 of them, then looked at the mysterious madam and sighed. "They are the children of the first Mermaid Emperor, the Black-Winged Emperor and the White-Winged Emperor." "I see." The mysterious madam suddenly understood and raised her eyebrows. "Your fathers have all followed the Qin Emperor. Why are you rebelling?" The Golden Mermaid said angrily, "I said it's none of your business. You'd better get lost immediately, or don't blame us for being rude." "How stubborn." The mysterious madam snorted coldly and looked at Elder Qin. "So you plan to self-detonate and die with them?" Elder Qin nodded. "Where's Feiyang? Why doesn't he care about this?" The mysterious madam said angrily. "It's not that Feiyang doesn't care, it's that he can't. Because right now, he and his subordinates are fighting a bloody battle with the demon ancestor in the Sea of Reincarnation." Elder Qin sighed. The mysterious madam said in shock, "The demon ancestor has successfully fused with the divine body?" "Yes. And according to the inner demons, the demon ancestor's strength is far beyond their expectations. The demon ancestor has already given us enough headaches, but I didn't expect the mermaid clan to take advantage of the chaos to come out and cause trouble. How hateful." Elder Qin clenched his fists, and his eyes were full of anger. The mysterious madam glanced at the 5 mermaid ancestors and said in a deep voice, "It seems that the situation in the Great Qin Empire is more serious than the situation in the Forgotten Continent." "What?" Elder Qin was shocked. Please remember the domain name of this book. Literature Library Mobile Version Website. Chapter 1853. The mysterious lady sighed. Just an hour ago, Mu Tianjun successfully fused with his divine body and launched a fierce attack on our main tower. Old Man Qin asked, "What about Mu Tianyang?" "Mu Tianyang hasn't appeared yet. He used up a lot of his divine sense in the divine ruin. It will probably take some time before he comes out," the mysterious lady said. "Then why are you here?" Old Man Qin looked at the 2 of them suspiciously. Mu Tianjun is a low-tier war god and has a supreme-grade divine artifact. With Mu Chongyun and Mu Chongfeng, our main tower is really, sigh, speaking of which. The mysterious lady let out a long sigh, her face full of worry. Old Man Qin looked at the 2 of them in shock, speechless. "I thought you were here to support us. So you're here to take refuge. We can't even protect ourselves, how can we spare the energy to support you? Actually, we came this time to ask for your help. But looking at your situation, it seems like you're not much better than us." Yi Shu smiled bitterly. Old Man Qin could not help but shake his head and smile bitterly. The 2 continents were in danger at the same time. This was really not good news. The mysterious lady pondered for a moment and asked, "Against the demon ancestor, is Qin Feiyang confident?" "I don't know." Old Man Qin shook his head, then clenched his hands and said firmly, "But I believe that the final winner will be us." If that's the case, the mysterious lady's eyes flashed, and she shouted, "Yi Shu, go and destroy the legendary altar immediately." "Miss, what do you mean?" Yi Shu was surprised. "Yes. First help Feiyang to pacify the Great Qin Empire, then we'll kill our way back to the Forgotten Continent together. The mysterious lady said. Okay. Yi Shu gritted his teeth and immediately rushed down. Old Man Qin glanced at Yi Shu's back, then looked at the mysterious madam and said, "The reason I came from the imperial capital this time was to destroy the teleportation altar here. We were worried that Mu Tianyang would bring his men here at this time." The mysterious lady said, "So, if we came one step later, we wouldn't be able to enter the great Qin Empire?" "Yes. Once I self-destruct, the entire Butterfly Valley, including the teleportation altar, will be destroyed. So, you came just in time. However, even though destroying the altar will stop Mu Tianyang, what about the other people in the Forgotten Continent?" Old Man Qin frowned. This teleportation altar was the only entrance to the Forgotten Continent. Once it was destroyed, the entire Forgotten Continent would become a sealed cage. If Mu Tianyang started a massacre in the Forgotten Continent, the people of the Forgotten Continent would have nowhere to run. Knowing that Mu Tianyang was hiding in the Forgotten Continent, how could I not have made preparations? Yesterday morning, after you returned to Great Qin, we immediately returned to the Central Divine Kingdom and moved everyone from the main tower into the Spatial Divine Item. The mysterious lady said. Old Man Qin asked, "What about the people from the 9 regions and the super tribes?" "I can't do anything about that. After all, our spatial items are limited, and we are unable to accommodate everyone from the Forgotten Continent," the mysterious lady said. Then they, Old Man Qin exclaimed. "Don't forget, this is war. War is merciless," the mysterious lady said. Old Man Qin fell silent. Rumble. Suddenly, a deafening sound rang out from below. Whoosh. Immediately after, Yi Shu rushed out and said with lingering fear, "Fortunately, I arrived in time. Otherwise, Mu Tianyang would have already brought people here." When they first entered the secret chamber, the teleportation altar was already recovering. Obviously, someone on the Forgotten Continent was recovering the altar. And now, the only person who could recover the altar was the Mu family. Since the teleportation altar has been destroyed, then prepare for battle. The mysterious lady took a step forward, and divine power surged out. The golden armor on her body was quickly repaired. Obviously, this armor was transformed from a divine art. She looked up at the 5 mermaid ancestors, and her eyes were extremely sharp. "I have seen your fathers, and they are all loyal and righteous people. What you are doing, isn't it the same as shaming them? You have seen them all?" The 5 mermaid ancestors looked at each other and frowned. The golden mermaid said in a deep voice, "Who are you?" The mysterious lady said, "Listen carefully, my name is Tan Tai Li, the 3rd main tower master of the Forgotten Continent." "You are Tan Tai Li?" The 5 were shocked. The mysterious lady said, "It seems that you have heard of my name. Back then, my father told me about you, saying that you are a woman that the Qin Emperor met on the Forgotten Continent. However, although you are the Qin Emperor's woman, it seems that you have no status." The golden mermaid joked. "So what?" The mysterious lady shouted, and she was a little angry. In this life, she hated to hear the words, "no status," the most. So what? If you don't have a title, it means that you're just a toy that was toyed with and then abandoned. The golden mermaid laughed. "You are courting death." The mysterious lady's eyes flashed with a cold light. "With just the 3 of you?" The golden mermaid smiled contemptuously. "What a few poor frogs at the bottom of the well." The mysterious lady waved her hand, and the monkey-faced old man and the hook-nosed old man appeared out of thin air. What? The 5 mermaid ancestors' pupils contracted. 2 more war gods had appeared. In other words, there were a total of 4 war gods on the Forgotten Continent. Why didn't the demon ancestor tell them such an important thing? In fact, the demon ancestor didn't expect that the mysterious lady would bring people here. Moreover, in his eyes, the mermaid clan was just a pawn that would be eliminated after he finished using them. Insulting the young lady is insulting us and the entire forgotten continent. Be prepared to suffer our wrath. The monkey-faced old man and the hook-nosed old man were both hot-tempered. As soon as they appeared, they charged toward the five with murderous intent. I will personally tear your mouth apart so that you will never be able to speak again. The mysterious lady also charged toward the golden mermaid, her eyes flashing with a bone-chilling light. Yi Shu was also like a mad beast, charging straight at a black-winged merman. In his eyes, the mysterious lady was the heavens. Anyone who dared to insult the mysterious lady was his enemy. There is hope for the great Qin. Elder Qin glanced at the four of them, and tears welled up in his eyes. The mysterious lady and the other three were not only his saviors, but also the saviors of the entire great Qin. Fei Yang, you must defeat the demon ancestor. With a roar, Elder Qin also unleashed a shocking murderous intent toward a white-winged mermaid. A battle between gods began in the spiritual state. Demonic Dragon Island. Fierce battles were still going on in various battlefields. This was a battle between gods. In a situation where both sides were evenly matched, it was common for them to fight for 3 days and 3 nights. Whether it was Qin Feiyang's side or the demon ancestor's side, they were all covered in scars. Almost half of their divine power had been exhausted. However, in comparison, the demon ancestor's side was more seriously injured. The white-haired old man and the others were all short of arms and legs. The golden Qilin, the wood Qilin, and the earth Qilin had several bloody holes on their huge bodies, and their divine blood dyed the sky red. Even Sima Kun was on the verge of death. I don't understand. I really don't understand. Our strength is about the same, so why do you hold the scales of victory? Sima Kun roared. I didn't understand before either. But after interacting with Qin Feiyang and the others, I finally understood. This is the power of unity, the power of trust. You will never understand this power. The blood Qilin roared. Every time the dragon vein sword and the wind moon pavilion collided, it would cause a large area of destruction. Clang. Rumble. Above the Death Sea. The battle between Qin Feiyang and the inner demons and the demon ancestor was even more terrifying. One side was using the step formula, the other side was using the speed formula. The three of them flickered in the sky and kept exchanging blows. Their speed was faster than lightning. Not to mention beginner and beginner war gods, even Desheng war gods would not be able to see their figures at this moment. They could only hear the deafening sounds of collisions. After such a long battle, Qin Feiyang and the inner demons looked a little weak. They were covered in wounds and dripping with blood. On the other hand, the demon ancestor. There was not a single injury on his body. However, at this moment, he looked like an old man in his 70s with white hair. His face was also full of wrinkles. His originally full and strong body was now emaciated. This was caused by excessive consumption of lifespan. Ever since the inner demons joined the battle, he had been using forbidden techniques, and his lifespan was constantly decreasing. Even if he was a war god, he could not withstand such consumption. The inner demons secretly laughed. Looks like we don't need to use the ultimate method to get rid of him. Don't be careless. Although the demon ancestor is already an arrow at the end of its flight, there is still Snowflake. Qin Feiyang transmitted his voice. Snowflake, the inner demon's bloody eyes flashed with a hint of hostility, secretly laughing. If it knows what's good for it, it's best not to make a move. Otherwise, today will not only be the end of the demon ancestor, but also its end. Regardless of whether Snowflake will make a move or not, unless we have no other choice, we must not use the ultimate method. Qin Feiyang secretly said. I know. I don't need you to remind me again and again. The inner demon stared at him impatiently and raised its head to look at the demon ancestor. It laughed, let's see how much lifespan you have left to consume. The blood-colored longsword in its hand was overflowing with bloody light. Qin Feiyang flashed and rushed behind the demon ancestor. He also controlled the blood-colored longsword and slashed it. The two longswords tore through the sky, their sharpness shocking the world. Shatter word formula, shatter for me. The demon ancestor waved his hands, and two pitch-black, shatter, characters appeared in the sky, carrying a terrifying destructive force as they blasted toward the two blood-colored longswords. The moment they met, the two blood-colored longswords immediately shattered into pieces in the void. The shatter word formula was one of the 6 killing techniques. No matter what kind of technique it was, it could shatter into pieces in an instant. The demon ancestor had used the shatter word formula more than once. Humph. However, at the same time that the blood-colored longswords shattered, the inner demons and Qin Feiyang snorted coldly at the same time. The divine light under their feet surged, and in an instant, they rushed in front and behind the demon ancestor. They raised their fists and attacked. Poof! The demon ancestor's chest and back were fiercely bombarded at the same time. The demon ancestor immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, and his body was torn apart. Please remember the domain name of this book. Literature Museum mobile reading website. Chapter 1854. Whether it was Qin Feiyang or the inner demons, they both had the strength to fight the demon ancestor alone, let alone the two of them working together. However, although this blow was enough to be fatal, under the recovery of the forbidden technique, the demon ancestor's injuries were healed in an instant. However, his face also seemed to have aged a little. I am immortal. Defense formula. The demon ancestor roared in the sky, his white hair fluttering in the wind. Demonic mist billowed, and a set of black armor appeared on his body. Coupled with the horns on his head and the wings on his back, he looked more like a demon king at this moment. Defense formula, does it mean defense? Qin Feiyang and the inner demons looked at each other, and a set of blood-red armor appeared on their bodies at the same time. As soon as the blood-red armor appeared, the weakness between their eyebrows instantly dissipated. Their battle intent broke through the clouds. The demon ancestor was surprised. Not only did his appearance become old, but even his voice became hoarse. This is the current form of the battle formula. A defensive armor that can even withstand the heavenly tribulation. Qin Feiyang and the inner demons smiled coldly. Their black and blood-red hair fluttered in the wind, as if two gods of war had descended. Battle formula, the demon ancestor muttered and suddenly used the speed formula, escaping into the sky. Want to escape? Qin Feiyang and the inner demons immediately chased after him. But suddenly, the demon ancestor stopped again, turned to face the two, and said in a hoarse voice, "Your strength is really more and more beyond my imagination. If this continues, I will be defeated by your hand sooner or later. Since you know, then quickly surrender." The inner demon sneered. Surrender without a fight, the demon ancestor muttered to himself, and a trace of ridicule gradually crept up on his old face. Do you really think that victory is on your side? Qin Feiyang's pupils shrank. Could it be that this person was still hiding other means? My foundation is something you will never be able to imagine. The demon ancestor roared into the sky. Clang! Accompanied by an earth-shattering sound, two black demonic lights swept out from between his eyebrows. They were an ancient pagoda and a great hall. Do you know what they are? They are the demon tower and the demon palace. The people you care about are all here. Like your mother Lu Qiuyu, Yan Wei, Jiang Zhengyi, and Old Man Run. The demon ancestor laughed. Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows and said, you still want to use them to threaten us? No, no, no. You killed Lu Yun and Monarch Chen with your own hands. Threatening them is no longer a viable option. The demon ancestor shook his head. Then what do you want to do? Qin Feiyang said. To open to watch. Because a legendary divine artifact is about to be born. The demon ancestor laughed. What? Legendaries. Qin Feiyang looked at each other, then looked at the demon tower and the demon palace again, their eyes full of surprise. The demon ancestor waved his hand, and the demon tower and the demon palace rose into the air, emitting a monstrous demonic light. Following closely. The demon tower, accompanied by a loud rumble, sat on top of the demon palace. Immediately, the demon tower and the demon palace merged together. That demonic power also immediately soared several times. The demon palace is actually a part of the demon tower, but it was separated by Qin Batian back then and turned into 2 divine artifacts. No. It turned into 3 divine artifacts. Because the demon crystal is also a part of the demon tower. The demon ancestor laughed wildly, and the demon crystal also rushed out from his body, like a black lightning, and instantly rushed to the top of the demon tower. Immediately. With a clang, the demon crystal was embedded on the top of the tower. Boom! The aura of the demon tower also soared again. So that's how it is. Qin Feiyang muttered. In the past, he had been wondering why the power of the demon crystal was so weak. It turned out that it was only a part of the demon tower. Did you notice that the current demon tower is exactly the same as the stone tower in the demon statue's hand? The inner demons secretly said. Demon statue? Qin Feiyang was stunned, and a demon statue involuntarily appeared in his mind. This demon statue was the 3rd move of the demon dragon's secret art, the Lord of all demons. He carefully compared the stone tower in the demon statue's hand and the demon tower in front of him were exactly the same. Do you think that the demon ancestor's demon tower, the ancestor's broken sword, and Lu Xingyang's long spear are divine artifacts of the same level? The inner demons secretly asked. How would I know? However, Qin Feiyang pondered for a while, and said in a low voice, however, these 3 divine artifacts must be very important to them. Otherwise, they wouldn't have integrated these 3 divine artifacts into the 3rd form when they created the Demon Dragon Secret Art, Divine Dragon Secret Art, and Fire Phoenix Secret Art. Demon Tower, awaken. Just as the 2 were communicating telepathically, the demon ancestor laughed wildly, and his divine power madly poured into the demon tower. Boom! A destructive aura rushed out of the demonic pagoda like a volcanic eruption. Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor looked at each other. Clang! Murderous intent surged, and the blood-red long sword appeared again. Qin Feiyang charged toward the demon ancestor. The inner demons charged toward the demon tower. It's useless, it's useless. The demon ancestor laughed. The extermination symbol art appeared and blasted toward Qin Feiyang. The demon tower blasted toward the inner demons. Boom! In the end, it was a situation where both sides suffered. The demon tower was a legendary divine artifact, and coupled with the demon ancestor's cultivation, its power in a fully awakened state was not inferior to the inner demons. In other words, it was no longer 1 against 2, but 2 against 2. The demon ancestor also finally closed the forbidden technique. Looking at Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor, he laughed, the real battle begins now. Even with the demon tower, it can't change your ending. The inner demons shouted. Is that so? The demon ancestor's divine sense emerged and pounced in all directions. The situation of the major battlefields entered his sight one by one, and his expression suddenly showed a trace of anger. I didn't expect that my subordinates would be so weak. The demon ancestor coldly snorted, but the corner of his mouth immediately pursed into a mocking smile. Looking at Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor, he said, "However, your so-called advantage will soon disappear." After saying that, the demon ancestor waved his hand, and a golden figure appeared beside him. It was a woman with a peerless appearance. She wore a pale golden dress, and her long golden hair fluttered in the wind like a waterfall. "It's her." Qin Feiyang's gaze trembled. The woman in front of him was the mermaid princess. However, when seeing Qin Feiyang and the inner demons, the mermaid princess's eyes were extremely cold. This gaze made Qin Feiyang's heart ache faintly. The demon ancestor smiled mockingly, looked at the mermaid princess, and said with a smile, "Go and activate your battle soul, let them see how terrifying you are." "Yes, master." The mermaid princess nodded and coldly glanced at Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor. She then soared into the sky and stood at the top of the clouds. That pale golden dress, that soft long hair, fluttered slowly in the wind. From afar, she looked like a fairy. Even the dark night sky was lit up because of her existence. Qin Feiyang raised his head and looked at the mermaid princess. The memories that had been sealed for a long time appeared in his mind one by one. Back then, in the Sea of Despair, he had spent 4 months with the mermaid princess. He still remembered every single detail that had happened. It was also at that time that he developed feelings for the mermaid princess. But because he carried too much on his shoulders, he had to bury this feeling in his heart. He thought about it. When everything was settled, he would go and find her. But he did not expect that when they met again, they would become strangers. Deity, now is not the time to be sentimental. Sensing the emotional fluctuations in Qin Feiyang's heart, the inner demons raised his eyebrows and secretly shouted. Qin Feiyang came back to his senses, took a deep breath, and said, "I know." "Good that you know. I will restrain the demon ancestor and the demon pagoda. You go and kill her." The inner demons said. "Okay." Qin Feiyang nodded and immediately used the step formula, rushing toward the mermaid princess. "You won't even let go of the woman you love. You are really ruthless. But I will not let you succeed." The demon ancestor smiled sinisterly and immediately used the speed formula to block Qin Feiyang's path. "Your opponent is me." The inner demons roared and instantly rushed over, throwing a punch at the demon ancestor. Clang! However, his fist landed on the demonic pagoda. Because when he attacked the demon ancestor, the demon pagoda also flew in front of the demon ancestor and blocked the punch. Emperor Prison. The inner demons was furious. The purple gold dragon soul roared and the Emperor Prison instantly opened. The demon ancestor's eyes suddenly became dull. Obviously, his consciousness was temporarily taken away by the Emperor Divine Prison. Although the demon pagoda was a divine artifact, it had already given birth to a spirit. With a spirit, it would have consciousness. Naturally, it could not escape the fate of being deprived and immediately stopped in the void, motionless. "Now, quickly!" The inner demons shouted. Qin Feiyang leaped and rushed toward the mermaid princess like lightning, murmuring, "Although I don't want to hurt you, I have to do this now. I am sorry." However, seeing Qin Feiyang approaching like lightning, the mermaid princess was not nervous at all. Her expression was as cold as ever. "I am sorry." Qin Feiyang arrived in front of the mermaid princess and murmured again. He raised his arm and a trace of divine power shot out from his index finger. Like an arrow, it went straight toward the mermaid princess's forehead. At this moment, the demon ancestor and the demon pagoda regained consciousness. "She is my trump card. How can I let you kill her so easily?" The demon ancestor lowered his head and murmured. Not only was there no panic in his eyes, it was instead filled with mockery. Boom! Seeing that Qin Feiyang's divine power was about to enter the mermaid princess's forehead, a terrifying killing intent suddenly shot out from the mermaid princess's forehead and blasted toward the divine power. With a loud bang, the divine power shattered on the spot. This scene was too unexpected. Qin Feiyang did not even have time to react. After the killing intent shattered the divine power, it blasted onto the blood-red armor on Qin Feiyang's body. Clang! Although the killing intent came suddenly, it did not cause any actual damage to Qin Feiyang. Because the armor formed by the battle character art could help him block 90% of the damage. This was a terrifying number. The battle character art is indeed extraordinary. The demon ancestor muttered as he stepped out and forcefully broke the imprisonment of the Emperor Divine Prison. Don't even think about it. The inner demons shouted as they stood in front of the demon ancestor and the demon pagoda. No matter what, they had to buy time for Qin Feiyang to get rid of the mermaid princess. Because the mermaid princess's innate divine power was too terrifying. The eye of life, flesh and bones. And it was an indiscriminate, large-scale healing ability. If she was allowed to successfully activate her innate divine power, not only him and Qin Feiyang, but even Zhao Tailai and the others would be in danger. Genius remembered this address in 1 second. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 1855. You? The demon ancestor looked at the inner demons, raised his hand, shook his finger, and said, "You can't stop me." Whoosh! As soon as he finished speaking, a dozen doppelgangers appeared beside the demon ancestor and charged toward the inner demons. At the same time, the demon pagoda also blasted toward the inner demons with a monstrous demonic aura. Mere doppelgangers, what can you do to me? The inner demons laughed. Look carefully, are we really just doppelgangers? The dozen doppelgangers immediately let out a terrifying grin. As they spoke, the doppelgangers actually activated their demon king physique. The inner demon's eyes trembled, full of disbelief. These were not doppelgangers, but incarnations. And 3,000 incarnations. But how was this possible? Just as the inner demons were distracted, the demon ancestor rushed toward Qin Feiyang like lightning. Qin Feiyang looked down at the demon ancestor, raised his arm again, and pointed in the air. A wave of divine power roared out and instantly drowned the mermaid princess. Ah! A scream immediately resounded through the night sky. Hey! However, the demon ancestor was not anxious at all. Instead, he stopped and grinned. Qin Feiyang frowned. The demon ancestor's current behavior was too abnormal. Do you think she's really the mermaid princess? The demon ancestor suddenly laughed. What do you mean? Qin Feiyang was surprised. The demon ancestor joked, she's just an ordinary woman in Shanghai in disguise. Are you kidding me? Qin Feiyang was furious. Yes. I'm kidding you. Watching you and the inner demons crazily trying to kill her, it's really interesting. The demon ancestor laughed. Since she's from Shanghai, I'll destroy her body and soul. Qin Feiyang shouted angrily. Originally, he planned to kill the mermaid princess first and resurrect her later. However, in order to revive, he needed flesh and blood. At the very least, he had to preserve a drop of the mermaid princess blood. However, he did not expect that this woman was not the mermaid princess at all. Since that was the case, there was no need for him to show mercy. Go ahead. The fiend ancestor waved his hand nonchalantly. The mockery on his face grew thicker. There was even a hint of playfulness in his eyes. Something's wrong. Qin Feiyang looked at Demon Alpha's expression and felt a strong sense of unease. Suddenly, with a wave of his hand, the godly power dissipated. The fake mermaid princess had died long ago. Only some flesh and blood remained, floating in the void. Why did you stop? Could it be that he has already noticed something? The demon ancestor raised his eyebrows. He suddenly attacked. A wave of divine power surged out and pounced on the remaining flesh. Sure enough, there's a problem. Qin Feiyang's heart trembled, and he quickly waved his hand, sending the remaining flesh and blood to the castle. Seeing this, the demon ancestor said angrily, "I can't believe I didn't succeed. How infuriating. Who the hell is she?" Qin Feiyang shouted. The demon ancestor smiled sinisterly, "She is Ren Wuxia." What? It's actually my sister. Qin Feiyang's face turned pale. I know your character. In the end, you will definitely open the gate of rebirth and resurrect those relatives and friends you killed with your own hands. Similarly, I also know the necessary conditions to resurrect them. This necessary condition requires at least something from them, such as blood and hair. So previously, I secretly asked Lin Yi to disguise Ren Wuxia into the appearance of the mermaid princess so that you could kill her with your own hands and destroy her bones. In this way, you can no longer resurrect her in the future. When you know the truth, you will definitely be in so much pain that you will hate yourself to death. But what I didn't expect was that you actually noticed the clues. In fact, it's also my fault. I was too obvious. The demon ancestor grinned. Damn it. Qin Feiyang was furious and roared, "Bastard, is it fun to do this?" Almost. Just a little bit more. If it weren't for his quick reaction, Ren Wuxia would have been destroyed by him. Of course it's fun. The demon ancestor laughed. You lunatic, I won't spare you. Qin Feiyang took a step forward. The blood-red sword tore through the sky, carrying a monstrous killing intent as it slashed at the demon ancestor. The best part is yet to come. Don't worry. The demon ancestor waved his hand, and the sever formula blasted at the blood-red sword. A destructive aura suddenly rolled out from the top of the sky. At the same time, below, under the bombardment of the demonic pagoda and the dozen clones, the inner demons were also blasted into the Dead Sea below. That is, Qin Feiyang's pupils contracted. 3,000 clones. The demon ancestor laughed. Beside him, more than a dozen clones appeared. Each clone had all the means and strength of the demon ancestor. How is this possible? Qin Feiyang murmured. 3,000 clones, I passed it on to Zhuge Mingyang. But he was too useless. You actually snatched it away. However, it doesn't matter if I give it to you. Anyway, soon, you will go to hell and reunite with him. The demon ancestor laughed sinisterly. Swish. Before his voice died away, a golden figure appeared behind him. Another mermaid princess. Her expression was still as cold as ice. Qin Feiyang sized up the mermaid princess at this moment with a trace of suspicion in his eyes. I didn't lie to you this time. She is the real mermaid princess. The demon ancestor laughed coldly and turned to look at the mermaid princess. Go far away and activate your battle soul. Yes. The mermaid princess nodded. Without even looking at Qin Feiyang, she turned and left. Bastard, how dare you trick us? At this moment, the inner demons rushed out from the Death Sea, setting off huge waves and charging towards the mermaid princess. I won't let you succeed. The dozen clones and the demonic pagoda stood in front of her. You are not the only ones with 3,000 clones. The inner demons waved his hand and 500 clones appeared. He shouted, kill the mermaid princess for me. The 500 clones were like killing gods. They smashed the demon ancestor's dozen clones and sent the demonic pagoda flying. Then, they charged towards the mermaid princess. At the same time, Qin Feiyang also activated 3,000 clones. In other words, he and the inner demons had a total of 1,000 clones at this moment. You are really good. You have cultivated 3,000 clones to this level in such a short time. However, using 3,000 clones in front of me is simply showing off your slight skill in front of an expert. The demon ancestor laughed contemptuously. With a wave of his hand, 1,000 clones appeared in the void behind him. What? He can summon 1,000 clones by himself? Looking at this scene, Qin Feiyang and the inner demons were dumbfounded. The demon ancestor's face was full of disdain. He shouted, "Go, crush them." Whoosh! The 1,000 clones suddenly turned into two torrents. One charged towards the inner demon's clones and the other charged towards Qin Feiyang's clones. At this moment, the entire sky above the Death Sea was filled with the clones of the three. The demon ancestor looked around and smiled. Not bad, not bad. This is the atmosphere we should have. Whoosh! The inner demons rushed to Qin Feiyang's side and said in a deep voice, "It seems that it is impossible to kill the mermaid princess." Qin Feiyang smiled bitterly. Don't think about killing her first. Think about how to deal with the demon ancestor. How terrifying is this demon strength? The inner demons were furious. They had already gone all out and almost used up all their trump cards, but they still could not defeat the demon ancestor. One had to know that the snowflake had yet to make a move. If the snowflake also made a move, could they really win? Whoosh! Accompanied by the sound of something breaking through the air, the demon pagoda also rushed into the sky and floated beside the demon ancestor. Old friend, it's been hard on you. The demon ancestor looked at the demon pagoda and smiled. Then, he looked at Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor and said, "I can feel the despair in your hearts." Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor's eyes darkened. Boom! It was also at this moment. In the distance, a terrifying aura exploded. Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor hurriedly looked over and saw the mermaid princess in the distance standing against the wind. Behind her stood a golden figure. The golden figure was shrouded in mist, and their true appearance could not be seen clearly. But Qin Feiyang knew that it was the mermaid princess battle soul. Because it was he who accompanied the mermaid princess to activate this battle soul. Eye of life, open. The mermaid princess whispered. The mist around the golden figure suddenly began to dissipate. The true appearance of the golden figure also quickly appeared in front of Qin Feiyang and the demon ancestor. It was actually a big golden fish. Its body was thousands of feet long and covered with golden scales. It was like a golden sun, emitting a dazzling golden light. The entire demonic dragon island was shrouded in this golden light at this moment. This is her battle soul? The inner demons murmured. That's not right. Her battle soul is so similar to the statue of the first mermaid emperor. It should be a mermaid. But why is it a fish when it reveals its true appearance? Qin Feiyang was surprised. The demon ancestor said, because the mermaid clan is the offspring of a fish and a human. A human and a fish can combine? The inner demons were surprised. Nonsense. Every beast that cultivates to become a god can transform into a human. But because they hate us humans, they disdain to do so. There are even some ferocious beasts that view the matter of transforming into humans as a disgrace. This is basic knowledge. Don't you know? The demon ancestor said angrily. The inner demons were stunned. What am I doing? Is there a need to be angry with him? The demon ancestor shook his head and sneered. Watch carefully. After all, this is the first and last time you will see the legendary Eye of Life. Qin Feiyang and the inner demons looked at each other, and a light flashed in their eyes. Did the demon ancestor forget that their Eye of Heaven could copy all battle souls and gifted superpowers? After the golden fish revealed its true appearance, it swam above the mermaid princess' head. The bright golden light made the demonic dragon island below as bright as day. This golden light, the blood Kirin, the golden leopard, and Zhao Tai Lai, who were on the battlefield, looked up at the sky and looked at the mermaid princess. Sima Kun, the white-haired old man, and the three divine beasts, the wood Kirin, were all delighted. Damn it! She is going to activate her gifted superpowers. What is Qin Feiyang doing? Why didn't he kill her? Suddenly, the blood Kirin roared. Sima Kun looked back at the blood Kirin and sneered. The mermaid princess is our trump card. Do you think the demon ancestor will let Qin Feiyang kill her? Also, didn't you see that the demon ancestor has already activated 3,000 clones? I am afraid that Qin Feiyang can't even protect himself now. The blood Kirin's heart sank. He roared, Zhao Tai Lai, Tang Hai, Chui Li, Junior Leopard, prepare to die. His voice was like a bell, echoing in all directions. Zhao Tai Lai, Chui Li, and the golden leopard heard it and looked in the direction of the blood Kirin. Their hearts sank. They knew the blood Kirin's personality. He would not say such things unless he was in a desperate situation. Chapter 1856. Buzz. Suddenly, the big golden fish stopped swimming and floated above the mermaid princess's head. Immediately after, its glabella quickly split open, revealing a golden eye. It was as if it was cast in gold, shining with divine light. This is the eye of life? Qin Feiyang murmured. As soon as his voice fell, the mermaid princess raised her head and looked at the big golden fish. Her expression was extremely sincere, and she exclaimed, Light of life, please shine on this land. Voila! Immediately, the eye between the big fish's glabella emitted a golden light that flooded in all directions. In less than 3 breaths, the entire demonic dragon island was enveloped by this golden light. Although it was a golden light, it was not dazzling at all. It was like the rising sun, very gentle and warm. And in this golden light, there was a sacred aura. At this moment, the mermaid princess was bathed in divine light, like a goddess descending to the mortal world, sacred and inviolable. Deity, you have good taste. This woman is worth having. But I'm thinking, if you really get together, the child you give birth to, will it be a mermaid or a human? The inner demon's eyes were full of curiosity. What time is it now, and you still have the mood to think about this? Qin Feiyang was speechless. The inner demons secretly laughed. What are you afraid of? You and I both know that no matter how strong the demon ancestor is, the final winner of this battle will be us. This is under the premise that Snowflake doesn't make a move. If it also makes a move, I'm afraid it won't be so easy. Qin Feiyang said. If Snowflake makes a move, then activate the ultimate killer move and destroy it. A trace of hostility flashed in the eyes of the inner demons. Activating the ultimate killer move can indeed destroy everything, but... Yi Zichen muttered. I really can't bear it. Qin Feiyang sighed. I can understand your feelings, but sometimes, we have no choice. Moreover, haven't you already made up your mind to activate the Gate of Rebirth? There's nothing to worry about. The inner demon said. However, don't forget that I've only managed to comprehend the Gate of Reincarnation to the initial level. At most, it can only revive 10,000 people. Qin Feiyang thought. The inner demons fell silent. But suddenly, their pupils shrank as they looked at the demon ancestor. He discovered that the fiend ancestor's old face had become much younger. Previously, madly activating forbidden techniques and burning his lifespan, the fiend ancestor's hair was already mottled, and he looked old and stooped. But now, the wrinkles on his face were quickly disappearing. His white hair was also rapidly turning black. Is this the ability of the Eye of Life? The two of them looked at each other and released their divine senses to check the situation of Sima Kun and the others. As expected, the injuries of Sima Kun and the others were also rapidly healing. Roar! Suddenly, an angry roar came from below. Immediately after, with a loud bang, a huge black dragon rushed into the sky. It was Mo Long. Not long ago, it was seriously injured by Qin Feiyang and fell into a coma. But now, not only did it wake up, but the injuries on its body had also mostly healed. The Eye of Life, flesh and bone, is indeed terrifying. The inner demons looked at the mermaid princess again, and the murderous intent in their eyes was even stronger than before. Although they couldn't bear to kill her, this woman had to die now. Otherwise, not only the fiend ancestor, but even Sima Kun and the others would become immortal. It was not easy to seriously injure them, and victory was just about to come. I didn't expect that the mermaid princess would turn the situation around in an instant. The Blood Kirin's worry is not without reason. The situation is really bad now. If the young master can't get rid of the mermaid princess, then this time, we will really die here. Looking at the white-haired old man and the others' changes, Zhao Tailai and the other two and the golden leopard's hearts were extremely heavy. Huh. Blood Kirin, die. Sima Kun laughed, and his aura surged out as he punched the Blood Kirin. Whether it was speed or divine power, they had all recovered to their peak state. On the other hand, the Blood Kirin. Although it had had the upper hand before, it was also seriously injured. The most important thing was that after such a long battle, it had very little divine power left. Although it did not want to admit defeat, it could not change this fact. Boom! There was no suspense. The Blood Kirin was sent flying by Sima Kun's punch. Its physical body cracked, and blood and flesh splattered everywhere. Boom! At the same time, the white-haired old man and the other three immediately launched a storm of attacks on the golden leopard, Zhao Tailai, and the others. The gap between the two sides was too big. One side was at their peak state, while the other side was seriously injured and completely suppressed. After a while, the Blood Kirin, the golden leopard, Zhao Tailai, and the others were on the verge of death. Young master, if we don't get rid of the mermaid princess now, I'm afraid that even the gods can't help us. The golden leopard roared. Junior leopard, you are too naive. Even if we kill the mermaid princess now, it will be useless. Because they have already recovered to their peak state. Let's fight to the death. But I don't regret it. Because it was you who taught me what companionship is and what trust is, to be able to fight side by side with you, to live and die with you, is my honor. It is also my pride. I hope that in the next life, we can meet sooner. The Blood Kirin muttered to itself. Its eyes were full of weakness, but a bright smile crept onto its face. It is smiling? Sima Kun looked at the Blood Kirin in disbelief. After being together for so many years, he knew the Blood Kirin's personality very well. It could be said that, this was the first time he had seen the Blood Kirin smile so sincerely. The Blood Kirin looked up at Sima Kun and smiled. Sima Kun, let's fight. Sima Kun said, I really want to know why. Why what? The Blood Kirin was suspicious. We have been together for so many years, and you have never smiled at us like this. But why are you so happy after knowing Qin Feiyang and the others for less than a day? You are not even afraid of death. What did they give you? Sima Kun asked angrily. Oh, that's what you want to ask. The Blood Kirin suddenly understood and said, the things they gave me cannot be seen or touched. Only the heart can feel them. What a joke. What a joke. I think you've been possessed by the devil. Sima Kun roared angrily and stepped toward the Blood Kirin. Boom. The Blood Kirin was blasted into the ground again. The blood Kirin dyed the ground red. Before, I also thought it was a joke, but now, when I've truly experienced it, I finally understand how precious and rare this invisible bond is. The blood Kirin stubbornly stood up. The dragon vein sword and the Kirin armor floated in front of it. It looked at the dragon vein sword and the Kirin armor and laughed. Are you afraid of death? If you are not, then fight with me until the fire of my life is extinguished. The two supreme-grade artifacts were silent for a while. Suddenly, wisps of terrifying auras burst out of his body. The two artifacts had awakened on their own. Thank you. The blood Kirin looked at them gratefully. It looked up at Sima-kun and roared, as long as my life is not extinguished, my will to fight will not be extinguished. Kill. The blood Kirin's aura was fully unleashed. With its last will, the dragon vein sword and the Kirin armor, it charged toward Sima-kun. The golden leopard, Zhao Tai Lai, and the other two were also like moths to a flame. They charged toward the white-haired old man and the others. The demon ancestor had returned to his original appearance. His 7-foot body was like an iron pine tree. His black hair was like a waterfall, and his blood was vigorous. The demon dragon's injuries had also completely healed. At this moment, whether it was the demon ancestor, the demon dragon, Qin Feiyang, or the inner demons, they were all using their divine consciousness to watch Zhao Tai Lai and the others. The demon ancestor sighed. Qin Feiyang, I really envy you for having such a group of loyal subordinates. If you can put away your desires and selfishness, there will still be people who will follow you wholeheartedly. Qin Feiyang said. Perhaps. But I don't need it. Because my strength alone is enough to destroy everything. Any person, any beast, in my eyes, is just a chess piece. The demon ancestor laughed, his expression full of contempt. Qin Feiyang said expressionlessly, is the demon dragon also a chess piece in your hands? Hearing Qin Feiyang's words, the demon dragon's gaze trembled and turned to look at the demon ancestor. The demon ancestor was also stunned. He looked at the demon dragon for a moment and smiled, of course, you are an exception. The demon dragon breathed a sigh of relief. He was afraid that in the eyes of the demon ancestor, he was just a chess piece. Qin Feiyang glanced at the demon dragon and looked at the demon ancestor. It seems that you still have a little conscience. Huh, even now, you can still be so calm. It's really admirable. The demon ancestor laughed again and again. The inner demons joked, my lord, it seems that he has indeed become complacent. Hurry up and shut him up. Let me have some peace and quiet. Qin Feiyang nodded. The demon ancestor raised his eyebrows and looked at the two suspiciously. Innate ability, activate. Qin Feiyang whispered. The purple gold dragon soul rose into the air, and the glabella quickly split open. A millstone-sized eye appeared. That eye was half golden and half purple, exuding a hidden power. This is, Eye of Heaven. The demon ancestor's eyes trembled. He was really complacent. He actually forgot that Qin Feiyang had this innate ability. Buzz. The next moment. Above Qin Feiyang's head, a big golden fish also appeared. It was the mermaid princess's battle soul. Following closely. The Eye of Life opened. The golden wave was like a tide, sweeping in all directions. The blood Qilin, the golden leopard, Zhao Tai Lai, and the others who were in danger suddenly felt as if they were bathed in warm sunlight. Their injuries were quickly recovering. The god power that he had used up was also recovering. They looked up at the sky in surprise. When they saw the big golden fish above Qin Feiyang, they suddenly became spirited. Yes. What were they afraid of? The young master had the Eye of Heaven. Any attack method could be copied. Not to mention other things, Just this eye of heaven made the young master an invincible existence. The situation was instantly reversed. Sima-kun and the others, who had not been complacent for long, immediately fell into panic. Even they could not help but begin to doubt. Could the demon ancestor really defeat Qin Feiyang like this? Genius remembered this site's address in a second. Mobile version of reading website. Chapter 1857. Lord Demon Ancestor. Looking at this scene, Mo Long panicked as he turned his head to look at Demon Ancestor. He didn't know if he didn't look, but when he did, he was shocked. At this moment, Demon Ancestor had his head lowered. His hands were tightly clenched, and his expression was extremely gloomy. How careless am I to actually forget about the eye of heaven? What's wrong with me? How could I make such a low-level mistake? This kind of negligence is really unforgivable. Qin Feiyang and the inner demons, who made me lose face, are even more unforgivable. At this moment, he was like a wild beast that was about to go crazy. His face was extremely ferocious. Whether it was his self-confidence or self-esteem, they were both deeply hurt. Unforgivable, absolutely unforgivable. Qin Feiyang, Demon Ancestor, suddenly raised his head and stared at Qin Feiyang and Mo Long. His eyes were scarlet as he laughed sinisterly. I didn't expect that I would be such a boring person. I actually played with you two ants for so long. Lord Demon Ancestor, Mo Long murmured. It could be seen that Demon Ancestor was deeply affected this time. Boring, really boring. No matter how many chances I give you, you can't escape the fate of death. Trash like you, what's the use of staying in this world? All of you, go to hell. 3,000 incarnations, open. Demon Ancestor roared. In the next moment, a scene that made Qin Feiyang and Mo Long pale appeared. In the void behind Demon Ancestor, incarnations continued to appear. There are actually so many. Inner demons said in shock. Qin Feiyang's pupils also contracted tightly. Wait. Suddenly, Qin Feiyang's body shook as he said in a deep voice, not long ago, he said that only those who fully comprehend the God's secret art can pass it down. Yeah. Why? Inner demons looked at him in confusion. He passed the 3,000 incarnations to Zhuge Mingyang. Doesn't that mean that he has fully comprehended the 3,000 incarnations? Qin Feiyang said. Hearing this, the inner demons felt as if they had been struck by lightning. They glared at the Demon Ancestor and said, doesn't that mean that he can condense 3,000 incarnations? You only realized it now? The demon dragon sneered and said, to tell you the truth, Lord Demon Ancestor was already able to create 3,000 incarnations 10,000 years ago. The hearts of Qin Feiyang and Li Wuyo sank. Apart from the fiend ancestor himself, only the two of them knew how terrifying the 3,000 avatars were. With the Demon Ancestor's capabilities and strength, if he fully activated his 3,000 clones, even a greater success divine war god would be killed instantly. Swish! In just a few breaths. In the void behind the ancestral fiend, a total of 2,000 avatars appeared. Not one more, not one less, densely packed. Every avatar emitted an aura that was in no way weaker than the fiend ancestor himself. Furthermore, they had all activated their Demon King physique. At a glance, they were like a group of demons. It was simply despairing. Haha, this is my last resort, and also your last moments in this world. Experience this despair well. Kill for me. The fiend ancestor roared ferociously. The 2,000 avatars waved their hands at the same time, and the word destroy appeared one by one. The destructive aura directly engulfed this world. Destroy word tactic. One must know. The 6 words tactic was a legendary killing technique. The fiend ancestor alone used the destroy word tactic, which was already heaven-defying enough, let alone now that 2,000 avatars had evolved the destroy word tactic at the same time. This scene was enough to make anyone feel despair. One could imagine how much pressure Qin Feiyang and the inner demons were facing now. Qin Feiyang took a deep breath and looked at the fiend ancestor. Your last resort is also your strongest move, right? That's right. The fiend ancestor said. Listening to your tone, it seems like you can block these 2,000 avatars. Don't joke around. With the strength of you and the inner demons, it's impossible to do so. The demon dragon snorted coldly. Qin Feiyang and the inner demons looked at each other, and a smile appeared on their faces. The demon dragon god was stunned. How could he still smile at this time? The inner demons looked at the fiend ancestor and laughed. Actually, we have been waiting for you to show your last card. The fiend ancestor looked at the inner demons, then looked at Qin Feiyang, and an inexplicable uneasiness rose in his heart. That's right. Because we know that with our current strength, it's very difficult to kill you. After all, you are ridiculously strong. So we can only wait for this moment to come. Qin Feiyang also laughed. The uneasiness in the fiend ancestor's heart grew stronger. Since we can't defeat you with our strength, then we will borrow your strength. Although the appearance of the 3,000 avatars shocked us, at the same time, it also made us happy. Because we haven't fully comprehended the 3,000 avatars, and can't condense 3,000 avatars. But now, we can. And, the number of avatars we condense will be twice as many as yours. Because there are 2 of us. The inner demons roared and also activated the purple gold dragon soul. The fiend dragon looked at the inner demons in shock. Eye of heaven, open. The inner demons and Qin Feiyang roared to the sky. In the void behind them, 5,000 avatars instantly appeared. Among them, 2,500 avatars were exactly the same as Qin Feiyang. The other 2,500 avatars were exactly the same as the inner demons. In addition to the 1,000 avatars that were fighting around them, the 2 had a total of 6,000 avatars. How is this possible? The Eye of Heaven can even replicate a deity art? The fiend dragon looked at this scene, dumbfounded. That's right. The Eye of Heaven can replicate all attacks. So, not only can it replicate battle souls and gifted superpowers, but also deity arts and battle arts. Qin Feiyang said. The fiend dragon's body trembled, and he looked at the fiend ancestor in panic. Lord Fiend Ancestor. At this moment, the fiend ancestor glanced at the avatars behind Qin Feiyang, and his face was full of bitterness. In the past, he had heard of the rumors of the Eye of Heaven. He also knew that the Eye of Heaven could replicate attacks, including deity arts and battle arts. However, this point had not been confirmed. Because the Eye of Heaven had never appeared before, he had always thought that it was just a rumor. After all, it was already heaven-defying enough to replicate battle souls and gifted superpowers. If it could replicate deity arts and battle arts, wouldn't it be invincible? However, he never thought that the Eye of Heaven could replicate deity arts. I lost. The fiend ancestor suddenly smiled, and his face was full of misery. The fiend dragon trembled and roared, Lord Fiend Ancestor, we haven't lost yet. Pull yourself together. We haven't lost, the fiend ancestor muttered, and a shocking battle intent rose from his body. He looked at Qin Feiyang and said, that's right, I haven't lost yet. I want to continue fighting. This is no longer a battle for life and death, but a battle for dignity. I, the fiend ancestor, will never bow my head and admit defeat to you 2 juniors. Come on, let us settle this once and for all. The fiend ancestor roared. The fiend dragon art, 6 words kill, and Eye of Despair were all activated, and they crazily attacked Qin Feiyang and the inner demons. Kill. The fiend dragon also activated his battle soul and followed closely behind the fiend ancestor. The fiend pagoda did not take a step back, and its demonic aura shook the heavens and earth. The 2,000 incarnations of the fiend ancestor also turned into a torrent and followed behind them. Are we fighting for dignity? We should have done this long ago. Qin Feiyang muttered, and then looked at the inner demons and smiled. He also activated the fiend dragon art and 6 words divine art, and led the 5,000 incarnations to attack the fiend ancestor. From afar, it looked like 2 torrents, drowning the sky and rushing toward each other. At this moment, Sima Kuan's group and Zhao Tailai's group stopped fighting at the same time and looked up at the sky. Rumble. With an earth-shattering explosion, the 2 sides met. In an instant, the entire heavens and earth were drowned in purple-gold divine light, blood light, and black light. That destructive aura surged out in all directions like an avalanche. The entire demonic dragon island was instantly annihilated, swallowed by the endless sea. Only the altar that led to the divine ruin was protected by a layer of blood light, and it quickly sank to the bottom of the sea. Everything disappeared. Only Sima Kuan, Zhao Tailai, and the others stood in the void far away, looking at the sky anxiously. Who would be the one that fell? The light gradually dissipated. The heavens and earth also slowly quieted down. Even the sea seemed to be exceptionally calm. Everyone could clearly hear their own heartbeats and breathing. When the light completely dissipated, Sima Kuan, the white-haired old man, the 7 people, and the 3 beasts changed their expressions and quickly flew toward the sky. They saw a figure falling from the sky. It was the fiend ancestor. At this moment, the fiend ancestor's body was covered in blood, and he had already fainted. The fiend dragon and the fiend pagoda fell together with him. The fiend dragon's huge body was broken. 8 of its 9 heads were smashed. The remaining head was also split into pieces. Its life force was extremely weak. The fiend pagoda was also in pieces, and its divine light dimmed. Young master, at the same time. At this moment, Zhao Tailai and the others looked at the 2 figures in the sky and could not help but cry tears of joy. They had experienced too much in this night's battle. They had been hovering between despair and hope. This was not only mental torture, but also mental destruction. They were even prepared to die in battle. Now, seeing the fiend ancestor finally fall, how could they not be excited? Whoosh! Sima Kuan and the others rushed over and caught the fiend ancestor, the fiend dragon, and the fiend pagoda. Looking at the dying fiend ancestor, Sima Kuan cried and shouted, "Lord Fiend Ancestor, wake up, you can't die." The white-haired old man and the 3 beasts were also in grief. But more than that, they were in despair. Even the fiend ancestor was defeated by Qin Feiyang's opponent. Did they still have any hope? The fiend dragon glanced at the fiend ancestor, then looked up at Qin Feiyang and the inner demons. It looked at Sima Kuan and said, "Sima Kuan, don't worry about him. Let's run." Run? Sima Kuan's eyes widened in anger and he roared, "It was the Lord Fiend Ancestor who gave you the status and strength you have today, and you want to abandon the Lord Fiend Ancestor? Do you have any conscience?" Chapter 1858. Humph. Don't make it sound so nice. Do you think we can't see that the Demon Lord only cares about you, Sima Yuan, and Mo Long? As for us, we're just a dog by his side. No. In his eyes, we are less than dogs. The white-haired old man and the 3 beasts snorted coldly. You, Sima Kuan glared at the 7 men and 3 beasts. Humph. If you want to stay here and wait for death, that's your business. We won't die with you. Let's go. The white-haired old man waved his sleeves and left Mo Long and Mo Pagoda behind. The other 6 people and the wood Qilin and the other 2 beasts also looked coldly at Sima Kuan, then turned and left without a word. "Bastard, bastard!" Sima Kun roared. "Mermaid Princess, where are you? Come and save the demon lord." At the same time, he released his divine power to support Mo Long and Mo Pagoda. "Yeah. Where's the Mermaid Princess?" The Blood Kirin, the Golden Leopard, and Zhao Tai Lai were also gathered nearby. When they heard Sima Kun's roar, they looked at the sky suspiciously. Tang Hai said, "Don't worry about the Mermaid Princess. We can't let Mu Qilin and the others leave." "That's right. They are all gods of war, and they are all ruthless. If they leave alive, there will be no end of trouble." The Blood Kirin said. "Then what are we waiting for? Let's go!" Zhao Tai Lai shouted. The 3 men and 2 beasts rushed toward the white-haired old man and the others with murderous intent. Tang Hai and the Blood Kirin were the fastest. They were the first to arrive in front of the group. When the white-haired old man saw this, he raised an eyebrow and looked at Tang Hai and the Blood Kirin. "The battle is over. What else do you want?" "Over? You are still alive. How can you call it over?" Chui Li, the Golden Leopard, and Zhao Tai Lai came and blocked the group's rear. They sneered. "Don't go too far." The 7 men and the 3 beasts glared at each other angrily. "Cut the crap. Attack!" Chui Li shouted. The 6 beast spirits immediately charged towards the group of people. The Blood Kirin immediately activated the Dragon Tattoo Sword. The scary light made the white-haired old man and the others fall into despair. "Blood Kirin, we used to be friends. Let us go. We promise that we will never stir up trouble again." The group of people begged. Forget about Chui Li, Zhao Tai Lai, Tang Hai, and the Golden Leopard. The Blood Kirin alone was enough to wipe them all out. The Blood Kirin was a low-level war god, and it had 2 supreme-quality weapons. Firmament. Qin Feiyang and the inner demons stood side by side, their bodies also riddled with wounds. Although they had defeated the Fiend Ancestor, the Fiend Ancestor's final strike was something they could not afford to pay. However, his life wasn't in danger. The inner demons glanced at Tang Hai and the others, then at Sima Kun and the Demon Ancestor, and said, "I can't let my guard down yet. I must kill the Demon Ancestor before he wakes up." Qin Feiyang nodded and glanced around. There was a trace of suspicion in his eyes. Where was the Mermaid Princess now? "Mermaid Princess, where are you? I beg you to come quickly and save Lord Devil Ancestor." Sima Kun hugged the Demon Ancestor and roared crazily. As for the white-haired old man and the Wood Kirin, he didn't care. Now, he just wanted to wake up the Demon Ancestor. Splash! Suddenly, a golden figure swept out from the sea below and headed straight for Sima Kun. It was the Mermaid Princess. Although the Mermaid Princess's memory had been erased, she was not a puppet. She had her own consciousness. Previously, when Qin Feiyang and the Demon Ancestor were fighting, she felt the danger and turned to escape. But because she was too slow, she was still affected by the aftershocks and blasted into the sea. Quick! When Sima Kun saw the Mermaid Princess, his face lit up with joy. However, at this moment, a blood-red figure appeared above the Mermaid Princess. That's right. It was the inner demons. "Get lost!" The Mermaid Princess shouted coldly. "How cold?" the inner demons muttered. At the same time, Qin Feiyang also descended in front of Sima Kun. The joy on Sima Kun's face froze. He hurriedly looked at Qin Feiyang and shouted, "Qin Feiyang, I beg you, please give the Demon Ancestor a way out. I'm willing to die for him." Drops of tears dripped onto the Demon Ancestor's face. Qin Feiyang glanced at Sima Kun, then lowered his head to look at the Demon Ancestor and sighed, "Do you see that? There are people in this world who are willing to die for you and shed tears for you. That's right. The demon ancestor said. What? Qin Feiyang was shocked. He stared at the demon ancestor and said, You didn't faint. My lord. Sima Kun immediately lowered his head and looked at the demon ancestor in his arms. The tears in his eyes could not stop falling. The demon ancestor slowly opened his eyes and smiled at Sima Kun. Actually, I didn't faint. Didn't faint? Sima Kun was stunned and asked, Then why? I just wanted to see how many people would protect me at all costs when I'm in trouble. In the end, only you. However, I'm already very happy. The demon ancestor smiled. My lord, Sima Kun murmured and suddenly smiled happily. At this moment, he was just like an innocent child. Oh no, the demon ancestor didn't faint. Then, didn't he hear everything we said just now? The white-haired old man and the other two who were in a bitter battle, as well as the wood Qilin and the other two beasts, all turned pale. Lord Demon Ancestor, we were wrong. Please save us. We swear that we will never be disloyal again. We will serve you wholeheartedly. They were now at the end of their rope. They could only thicken their faces and ask the demon ancestor for help. The demon ancestor ignored them and slowly got up. Demonic flames burned on his body. His injuries were instantly healed. Qin Feiyang's eyes darkened. The next moment, the demon ancestor moved. However, he didn't attack Qin Feiyang or the inner demons. Instead, he went for Zhao Tailai and the others. Get out of the way. Qin Feiyang hurriedly shouted. Heard it. The blood Qilin, the golden leopard, and Zhao Tailai looked up and their expressions changed drastically. Tang Hai immediately waved his hand and swept everyone up. He didn't even look back as he flew away. At the same time, seeing the demon ancestor's actions, Sima Kun couldn't help but frown and murmur, They have already betrayed you. Why do you still want to save them? Whoosh! The demon ancestor flew in front of the white-haired old man and the others. My lord, thank you. The white-haired old man and the other two beasts hurriedly said gratefully. The demon ancestor smiled and said, No need to thank me. I'm not here to save you. I'm here to kill you with my own hands. What? The 7 people and 3 beasts were stunned, wondering if they had heard wrong. You didn't hear wrong. I'm here to kill you. The demon ancestor smiled as his eyes gradually turned red. Eyes of despair. He's not joking. He really wants to kill us. Run! The white-haired old man roared. The 7 people and 3 beasts immediately ran for their lives. Run? The demon ancestor's eyes flashed with disdain as his eyes turned red. The white-haired old man and the others suddenly felt a deep sense of despair in their hearts. Immediately, they lay in the void and screamed. You can't even withstand the first level of the eyes of despair. You really don't even qualify to be cannon fodder. The demon ancestor waved his hand and divine power rolled out, drowning the 7 people and 3 beasts. Ah! Roar! Following a series of shrill screams, the 7 people and 3 beasts died on the spot. The inner demon's pupils shrank. The 7 war gods were killed in an instant. This demon ancestor was indeed extraordinarily scary. The blood Qilin, the golden leopard, and Zhao Tailai, who had fled far away, looked at the demon ancestor in shock. Good death. There was no sympathy in Sima Kun's eyes. But what Qin Feiyang cared about was the demon ancestor's look of despair. The red eyes were the first level of the eyes of despair. The grayish-white eyes should be the second level of the eyes of despair. Where did the demon ancestor get such a scary godly skill? The demon ancestor turned his head to look at Qin Feiyang as if he could see through Qin Feiyang's thoughts. He said, the eyes of despair is not a godly skill. Not a godly skill? Qin Feiyang was surprised. Yes. The eyes of despair is my fighting soul. It is the same as your eye of heaven. It is one of the top 10 fighting souls. The demon ancestor said. Top 10 fighting souls? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. The inner demon shouted, Deity, now is not the time to talk about this. As he spoke, he took a step forward, raised his arm like lightning, and grabbed the mermaid princess' neck. The demon ancestor turned to look at the inner demons and shook his head. You can kill anyone but her. Are you joking? The inner demon sneered. Joking? It seems that I am not the only one with a bad memory. Even you have a bad memory. If that is the case, I will kindly remind you. Heart Union Knot. The demon ancestor said. Heart Union Knot. Qin Feiyang's eyes trembled. The inner demons immediately looked at Qin Feiyang's chest. That's right. The mermaid princess and Qin Feiyang had a heart union knot. Their lives were already tied together. If either of them were to meet with misfortune, the other would die with them. Actually, you don't have to kill her. Because after this battle, I have come to a realization. The demon ancestor sighed. Realization? Qin Feiyang frowned. The blood Kirin, the golden leopard, and Tang Hai quickly rushed to Qin Feiyang's side and looked at the demon ancestor suspiciously. Lord Demon Ancestor, you, Sima Kun also looked at the demon ancestor in shock. The demon ancestor smiled at Sima Kun and looked at Qin Feiyang. When I was defeated by you, I could not help but think of the things I had done in the past. I repeatedly asked myself, what was the point of doing all this? What did I get? Nothing. I didn't get anything. Instead, I was betrayed. Thinking about it, it is really sad. The demon ancestor shook his head and laughed at himself. His face was full of melancholy and disappointment. The inner demon said to himself, I can't let my guard down. He might just be confusing us. Yes. First, destroy the mermaid princess Sea of Qi. Qin Feiyang transmitted. The inner demons nodded. A wisp of god power swept out and instantly entered the mermaid princess Sea of Qi. Immediately after, the inner demons brought the mermaid princess to Qin Feiyang's side and stood side by side. Qin Feiyang also immediately sent the mermaid princess to the Black Tortoise world. Because now, the Black Tortoise world was safer than the castle. Genius memorized the address of this site in 1 second. Mobile version of reading website, M. Chapter 1859. Sima Kun glanced at Qin Feiyang and the others, then flew to the demon ancestor with Mo Long and Mo Pagoda. His face was full of concern as he said, My lord, what happened to you? Don't scare me. The demon ancestor sighed and looked at Sima Kun. He smiled and said, Actually, my awakening has something to do with you. Has something to do with me? Sima Kun was slightly stunned and looked at the demon ancestor suspiciously. Yes. Just now, your tears dripped on my face. At that moment, I could clearly feel the despair and sorrow in your heart. At the same time, your tears made me feel an unprecedented warmth. The demon ancestor smiled. My lord, Sima Kun looked at the demon ancestor in a daze, and tears fell from his eyes uncontrollably. The demon ancestor said, Thank you for always being with me. No, no, no. I should be the one saying something to you. If you didn't save me and my brother back then, we would have fallen off the cliff and died. It's you who gave us all this. It's also you who gave us the dignity of being human. You are our second parent. Sima Kun waved his hand and shouted. Second parent, the demon ancestor muttered and sighed, but I didn't fulfill my responsibility as a father and even killed your brother. No. My brother was killed by Qin Feiyang. Sima Kun roared. Zhao Tailai raised his eyebrows and said, your brother committed suicide. How many times do we need to say it? Sima Kun said angrily, even if he committed suicide, it was you who forced him. Unreasonable. Zhao Tailai snorted coldly. Sima Kun turned a deaf ear and stared at Qin Feiyang and the inner demons. He said word by word, I will definitely avenge my brother. Good. Now, I'll give you the chance. The inner demons took a step forward, and that terrifying murderous aura rushed towards Sima Kun like a wave. Sima Kun's heart was suddenly filled with an unresolvable fear. Even the demon ancestor wasn't a match for these two, let alone him. If he really wanted to fight, he didn't have the courage. But suddenly, the demon alpha stepped in front of Sima Kun. Demonic power surged out and blocked the inner demon's murderous aura. Regardless of whether you've come to your senses or not, we have to settle this today. The blood-red hair of the inner demons danced in the wind. As the murderous aura surged, the blood-red longsword reappeared. Its terrifying sharpness swept across the world. This is the current kill formula. Sima Kun, who was standing behind Demon Alpha, could not help but tremble. Previously, Han Sen had been fighting the Blood Kirin, so he hadn't experienced the power of the kill word. And at this moment, faced with the blood-red longsword that was so close to him, he could not help but feel despair as he felt the sharpness of the sword that could tear the heavens and earth apart. It was only then that he realized that the Lord Demon Ancestor had been fighting with such a terrifying existence. Looking at the aggressive inner demons, the Demon Ancestor sighed deeply. He then looked at Qin Feiyang with a complicated expression. Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice, back to the previous topic, what do you mean by awakening? This person's sudden change made him very uncomfortable. The Demon Ancestor pondered for a while and sighed. You can think of it this way. I plan to turn over a new leaf. My lord, you, Sima Kun looked at the Demon Ancestor in shock. The Demon Ancestor turned to look at Sima Kun and smiled. You've been with me since you were young. You know everything that I've done in my life. Sima Kun nodded. The Demon Ancestor said, then what do you think of all that I've done? Sima Kun said, to create a truly peaceful world. Yes. That's what I thought at first. But now, I realize that it's just an excuse to satisfy my selfish desires. Actually, Qin Feiyang is right. I'm a selfish person. I don't trust anyone. For example, the Blood Kirin and the others have followed me for so many years. I've been hiding the fact that the Demon Hall has a time array from them. The Demon Ancestor laughed at himself. The Demon Hall really does have a time array. Qin Feiyang mumbled. Sima Kun said, my lord, you don't have to blame yourself. What you did was right. Look at the Blood Kirin. Didn't it betray us? No. If I treated it with sincerity like Qin Feiyang, would it betray me? The Demon Ancestor said. Sima Kun fell silent. I used to say that Qin Feiyang was too naive and too loyal. But that's not the case. I was too stupid. After living for so many years, I didn't even understand the trust between companions. That's why I lost to him. The Demon Ancestor sighed. My lord, Sima Kun muttered. Perhaps, this is fate. 10,000 years ago, I lost to Qin Badian. 10,000 years later, I lost to his descendants. To be honest, I'm still a little unwilling. The Demon Ancestor raised his arm and covered his face with his hand. He was in so much pain that he even shed tears. Looking at the Demon Ancestor at this moment, Sima Kun's heart ached. He roared, my lord, you haven't lost. You still have the fourth move of the demonic dragon art. The fourth move. Qin Feiyang and the inner demons looked at each other with a trace of doubt in their eyes. It seemed that they really hadn't seen the demon ancestor use the fourth move of the demonic dragon art. The fourth move, it's useless. The moment he opened the Eye of Heaven, our ending was already decided. The demon ancestor muttered, his heart filled with despair. Sima Kun said in a deep voice, "Is the Eye of Heaven really that heaven-defying?" The Eye of Heaven is that heaven-defying. There are a total of 10 heaven-defying battle souls in the world. The Eye of Heaven is ranked 2nd, and my Eye of Despair is only ranked 6th. The demon ancestor said. Qin Feiyang asked, "What's the first battle soul?" The demon ancestor said, "Your ancestor's battle soul, the Eye of Reincarnation." Eye of Reincarnation, Qin Feiyang murmured. Although he didn't know what the Eye of Reincarnation was used for, he could tell from the name that it was definitely extraordinary. All right. The demon ancestor's expression turned serious as he looked at Qin Feiyang and said, "The winner is the king, and the loser is the bandit. I have nothing to say about this battle. It doesn't matter if you want to kill me or torture me, but I hope that you can let Sima Kun go." "My lord," Sima Kun's expression changed. "Don't say anything. I've already killed your big brother. I can't kill you too." The demon ancestor waved his hand. "I'm not afraid." Sima Kun roared. "I'm afraid. If even you die here, I'm afraid that my conscience will be even more uneasy." The demon ancestor shouted. Tears rolled down Sima Kun's face. "Live well and don't avenge me because I deserve to die. It's not worth it." The demon ancestor turned his head to look at Sima Kun and smiled. He then looked up at Qin Feiyang and the inner demons and said, "Come, I won't resist anymore. Avenge your loved ones." The inner demon's pupils contracted as he transmitted his voice, "My lord," looking at him, he doesn't seem to be joking. Qin Feiyang looked at the demon ancestor's expression and thought, if he really repents, it will save us a lot of trouble. Most importantly, he didn't have to kill his mother and Yen Wei with his own hands. "Then now we," the inner demons asked. "Revenge must be taken." Qin Feiyang said word by word. Accompanied by a clang, a blood-red sword condensed. Seeing this, the demon ancestor closed his eyes. "I hope that in the next life, you can be a truly good person," Qin Feiyang whispered as he took a step forward. The blood-red sword pierced through the sky and went straight for the demon ancestor's forehead. Clang! However, at this moment, Snowflake appeared. A terrifying cold current instantly froze Qin Feiyang. The demon ancestor opened his eyes and looked at Snowflake angrily. "I don't want to make any more mistakes. Let me go and atone for my sins." "Atone for your sins? The reason why I like you is because you are ruthless enough. But I didn't expect that you are just a good-for-nothing." Snowflake snorted. "Yes. I am a good-for-nothing. I don't need your help anymore. Go and find someone more worthy of your training." The demon ancestor shouted. "Training?" The inner demons was stunned. It turned out that the demon ancestor was trained by this snowflake. "You want me to go, so I will go? Then all the effort and energy I have spent on you all these years, wouldn't it be a waste? How can there be such a simple thing in this world? Since you've admitted your defeat, you should hand over your flesh." Snowflake laughed sinisterly. "Don't even think about it." The demon ancestor shouted as a destructive aura rushed out of his body. "This is self-destruct." The inner demon's expression changed on the spot and immediately took the frozen Qin Feiyang, turned around, and fled. The Blood Kirin, Zhao Tai Lai, and others also fled in horror. In their hearts, it was extremely unbelievable. The demon ancestor actually chose to self-destruct? Lord Demon Ancestor, Sima Kun also roared in grief. The demon ancestor waved his hand, and a palm-sized ancient city appeared and swept toward Sima Kun. It was Demon Capital. Quickly take Demon Capital, Demon Dragon, and Demon Pagoda. Let's go. When the matter here is over, we must return Lin Yi and the others to Qin Feiyang. The demon ancestor shouted. No. I won't go. If we die together. Sima Kun shook his head. Demon Capital. At the same time. When the inner demons heard the word Demon Capital, they suddenly trembled. They handed the frozen Qin Feiyang to Zhao Tailai and shouted, "You all go first. I will go and take Demon Capital. No one can escape." Snowflake sneered. The cold current was like a tide, rolling in all directions. Whether it was Sima Kun, the inner demons, or even the blood Kirin, Zhao Tailai, and others, they were all frozen in an instant. So strong. With our current strength, we can't be Snowflake's opponent at all. Everyone felt despair. You bastard. I will die with you. The demon ancestor roared. Trash will always be trash. No matter how you carve it, it can't become something great. Snowflake's words were full of disdain. A wisp of cold air emerged and entered the demon ancestor's head. Ah! The demon ancestor suddenly screamed in pain. And at the next moment, the demon ancestor suddenly opened his eyes. The originally dark pupils had changed. It was as if they were condensed from ice, exuding a bone-chilling cold current. Crack! The inner demons and Qin Feiyang forcibly shattered the ice on their bodies and looked up at the demon ancestor. Their faces suddenly changed drastically. Hee, although this person is useless, his physical body is not bad. The demon ancestor looked at Qin Feiyang and laughed ferociously. Chapter 1860. Qin Feiyang said furiously, "What did you do to him? Isn't it obvious? I destroyed his divine soul and took away his divine body. In other words, I'm the demon ancestor now." The demon ancestor laughed. Bastard! What right do you have to take other people's lives? Qin Feiyang roared. The blood-red sword shattered the void and slashed toward the snowflake's body. Mere ants, how dare you compete with the sun and the moon? The demon ancestor laughed contemptuously. The snowflake shook the sky and shattered the blood-red sword. Qin Feiyang was also sent flying. This lord, the inner demons roared and immediately activated the battle and kill formula, charging toward the demon ancestor. You're all ants. Die. The demon ancestor laughed maniacally. The snowflake's cold aura surged and condensed into ice arrows, shattering the sky. Accompanied by clanging sounds, the blood-red armor on the inner demon's body shattered. The inner demon's body was pierced through by the ice arrows. It was like a sieve riddled with holes, and blood flowed out like a waterfall. So strong. The inner demon's face was pale. Whoosh! Qin Feiyang flew over and supported the inner demons. He asked with concern, "How are you?" "I won't die. But this divine item isn't something we can deal with," the inner demons said in a low voice. Qin Feiyang raised his head and looked at the demon ancestor and the snowflake. "Are you in despair? This is the strength of this lord. For trash like you, this lord can kill you with a flick of his finger." The demon ancestor laughed, his face full of contempt. Although I know that the one controlling this body isn't the demon ancestor himself, hearing this voice is still infuriating. The inner demon snorted. Yeah. But no one expected that the demon ancestor would be killed by the snowflake in the end. Qin Feiyang said. The inner demon said, "Activate the ultimate means. Otherwise, we'll all be wiped out." Ultimate move. Qin Feiyang lowered his head, a trace of hesitation on his face. Now is not the time to hesitate. Although the Eye of Heaven can duplicate fighting souls and deity techniques, it can't duplicate deity artifacts. Furthermore, Snowflake's strength has far exceeded the limit of what the Eye of Heaven can duplicate. If we hesitate any longer, we'll all die. The inner demons shouted. Qin Feiyang's eyes shivered. He lifted his head to look at Demon Ancestor and Snowflake. That was right. There was no other choice now. If he wanted to fight against the Snowflakes, he had to use his ultimate move. Qin Feiyang took a deep breath, turned to the inner demons, and said in a deep voice, "Go, I will try my best to delay until you come out." The inner demons nodded and turned around to Zhao Tailai and the others. With a wave of his hand, he led everyone to the Black Tortoise world. In this way, only Qin Feiyang and Sima Kun were left. As for Sima Kun, he was still sealed in ice. Through the layer of ice, one could clearly see his twisted expression of pain. Looking at the inner demons disappearing with Zhao Tailai and the others, Demon Ancestor was taken aback. But immediately, his face was full of disdain as he said, "You let them escape while you stay. Do you want to fight me one-on-one? I still have this self-awareness. No matter what means I use, I can't defeat you. However, it's better for me to die alone than for everyone to die." Qin Feiyang said. "At least you still have some awareness. But do you think they can survive by hiding in the castle and the Black Tortoise world? You are too naive. After I kill you, they'll all die. But you can rest assured that I won't let you die so easily." Demon Ancestor laughed. He grabbed Demon Ancestor. Swish! The next moment, a figure appeared next to Demon Ancestor. It was Lin Yi. Seeing the appearance of Lin Yi, Qin Feiyang's gaze trembled slightly. There was also an uneasy premonition in his heart. Following that, more and more figures appeared behind the ancestral devil. Qin Feiyang looked at them one by one, and his eyes couldn't help but moisten. Those were all familiar faces. There was his mother. There was Jiang Zhengyi. There was Yan Wei. There was Old Master Ren. There was also Wang Yongfeng, Wang Yishan, and everyone in the Wang clan, including his only disciple, Wang Xiaojie, and Qin Chen who followed him in the Mu family. There was also Ling Yunfei's mother, Lu Ji. Luo Qingzhu's mother, Luo Qianxue. Even Fatso's only relative, Situ Hai, was also in the crowd. In short, everyone around him appeared in front of him at this moment. Such as the Earth Dragon, Cheetah, Seahorse, Seal, etc. Finally, his gaze fell on a young man. The young man was the little prince, Qin Haotian. And the little prince, Yan Wei, Lu Qiuyu, and Jiang Zhengyi, their eyes were indifferent at this moment. Obviously, their memories had all been erased by Lin Yi. Qin Feiyang clenched his hands and stared at Demon Ancestor angrily. "Everyone related to me has fallen into your hands. You are really scheming." "Wrong. This is done by Demon Ancestor. It has nothing to do with this lord. This lord disdains to do this." Demon Ancestor sneered. Qin Feiyang said angrily, "Since you disdain to do this, then let them go." "Let them go? Although they are all ants in this lord's eyes, they still have a little bit of value. At least, this lord can enjoy a good show." Demon Ancestor joked. "A good show?" Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows. "Yes." Demon Ancestor waved his hand, and the snowflakes suspended in the void trembled violently. The power of law reappeared. Following that, another group of people appeared in the void. Qin Feiyang's eyes trembled. These people were Ling Yunfei, Fatso, and the others. Qin Feiyang looked at Demon Ancestor and said angrily, "What do you want to do?" "What do I want to do? Of course, let them kill each other." Demon Ancestor laughed ferociously, looked at Lin Yi, and shouted, "Go and kill them." "Yes, master." Lin Yi responded respectfully and waved her jade-like hand. Immediately, Lu Qiuyu and the others charged towards Ling Yunfei and the others. "Mother!" Ling Yunfei saw Lu Ji in the crowd, and his body trembled suddenly. Luo Qingzhu also saw Jiang Zhengyi and Luo Qianxue. Qin Feiyang secretly said, "Everyone, I know you can't bear it. In fact, I feel the same, but I need time. Don't worry. I have already prepared myself." Luo Qingzhu murmured. The power of a pseudo-god erupted and charged towards Jiang Zhengyi and Luo Qianxue. "Yes. We are all ready." "Mother, I'm sorry." Ling Yunfei murmured, took a step forward, and landed in front of Lu Ji. The power of a pseudo-god directly went into Lu Ji's glabella. Lu Ji's blood immediately splattered in the sky. "Is this the taste of killing your loved ones with your own hands?" Looking at the fallen Lu Ji, Ling Yunfei's vision blurred with tears. He suddenly raised his head, stared at Demon Ancestor, and roared, "You will die a horrible death." Boom! With a heart full of anger, he charged towards Old Master Run. "Young master, let us kill the little prince and the mistress." Willow Tree and Yu Huang looked down at Qin Feiyang and said. Qin Feiyang heard this, looked at the little prince and his mother, closed his eyes, and nodded to Willow Tree and Yu Huang. Li Jian immediately charged towards the little prince and Lu Qiuyu. "What is the meaning of doing this?" Qin Feiyang opened his eyes suddenly, stared at Demon Ancestor, and roared. "Huh, playing with the lives of others in the palm of your hand, making them cry in despair and pain. What is better than this?" Demon Ancestor laughed wildly. "You are a beast." Qin Feiyang said coldly and used teleportation, flickering in the void. Those who died were all sent to the castle by him. Demon Ancestor said, "You really want to open the gate of rebirth and revive them?" "That's right." Qin Feiyang didn't deny it, but there was a trace of nervousness in his expression. "Don't be nervous. I won't stop you. You can take away their corpses." "Do you know why?" "Because you won't have the chance to revive them. Because in a moment, you will also die here like them." Demon Ancestor laughed wildly. "Unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable." Suddenly, Sima Kun roared. With a cracking sound, the ice that trapped him shattered with a loud bang. He raised his head and stared at Snowflake like a mad beast. His eyes were scarlet as he roared, "You piece of shit, return Lord Demon Ancestor to me." Boom! His aura surged out, and the Wind Moon Pavilion recovered. He led the Wind Rain Pavilion and madly attacked Snowflake. "You are also a piece of trash, despair." Demon Ancestor's face was full of disdain, and his pupils instantly turned gray. Eyes of despair. Snowflake had taken away Demon Ancestor's divine body, so naturally, he had also obtained Demon Ancestor's ability. Sima Kun suddenly fell into despair as he lay in the void, trembling. At the same time, Black Tortoise Realm. Zhao Tailai and the others had also broken the ice and escaped. At this moment, they stood in the sky above the Devil's Land, looking at the inner demons in front of them, their eyes full of surprise. They saw the inner demons holding a blood-colored sword and scanning the continent of the Black Tortoise Realm. His blood-red eyes glowed with a bloodthirsty light. The Blood Kirin carefully asked, "Master, what are you going to do?" The inner demon said, "Actually, my original body and I still have an ultimate killer move." Ultimate killer move? The Blood Kirin was stunned and turned to look at Zhao Tailai and the others. "What ultimate killer move?" "We don't know." Zhao Tailai shook his head. "This ultimate killer move is too cruel, so my original body and I have been hiding it in our hearts." The inner demon said. Zhao Tailai asked, What is the ultimate killer move? Killer zone. The inner demons said one word at a time. Killer zone? The Blood Kirin, the Golden Leopard, and Zhao Tailai looked at each other, their eyes full of confusion. The inner demons lowered his head to look at the blood-colored sword in his hand and sighed. The killer formula you see now is not the complete form. This is still not the complete form? The 3 people and 2 beasts were shocked. Yes. The inner demons nodded. Boom. The blood-colored sword glowed with a bloody light. A blood-red barrier appeared out of nowhere. The barrier was a few hundred feet wide, and the murderous aura it exuded was countless times stronger than before. This is the killer zone. The inner demon said. What does this killer zone do? Tang Hai was surprised. The killer zone is the same as the previous killer formula. It absorbs the blood of creatures to increase the power of the blood-colored sword. The inner demon said. Increase the power of the blood-colored sword? I remember that it used to increase your cultivation. Zhao Tailai said. P.S. Specially updated a chapter to explain that the WeChat group has been disbanded. Don't ask why. It's private. Please remember the domain name of this book. Literature Library mobile version website. Chapter 1861. Yes. In the past, it would increase one's cultivation by a whole realm. But now, it's even more terrifying than before. Because the slaughter domain can increase the power of the blood-colored sword endlessly. The inner demon said. Endlessly? The 3 men and 2 beasts were dumbfounded. Didn't that mean that there was no upper limit? Yes. There's no upper limit. As long as there's enough blood, the power of the blood-colored sword can even surpass Chang Shui and the castle. The inner demon said. His blood-colored hair danced in the air, and his whole body emitted a shocking sharpness. Surpass Chang Shui and the castle. The 3 men and 2 beasts were so shocked that they couldn't close their mouths. Tang Hai said in a deep voice, such a terrifying slaughter domain must have a huge price to pay. Yes. In the past, the amount of blood needed to increase one's cultivation was hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands. But now, the slaughter domain requires the blood of millions, tens of millions, or even billions of creatures. Moreover, the slaughter domain has a time limit. It can only be maintained for an hour. It's because of this that my original body and I haven't opened the slaughter domain. But now, we have no choice. The inner demon said. In other words, you want to kill all the creatures in the Black Tortoise world now? Zhao Tailai was shocked. Yes. The inner demons nodded. How can that be? There are countless sea beasts in the Sea of Reincarnation. You can go find them. Zhao Tailai hurriedly said. Old Zhao. Although there are many sea beasts in the Sea of Reincarnation, the slaughter domain can only be maintained for an hour. There's no time. Moreover, the young master is outside. He can't delay for that long. Tang Hai sighed. Yes. The teleportation gate can't be opened in the demonic Dragon Island. Even if we go to help kill the sea beasts, it will take a long time. The Black Tortoise world is different. As the masters of the Black Tortoise world, the young master and the inner demons both control the power of the rules. As long as they control the power of the rules, they can instantly kill all the creatures here. Chui Li said. But isn't this too cruel? Zhao Tailai said. Don't worry. I will open the gate of rebirth and revive them. Because he is such a foolish person. The inner demons shook their heads and smiled. Boom. Following closely. He took a step forward and stood at the peak of the clouds. He roared, Power of rule, appear. Rumble. Immediately. The entire Black Tortoise world's sky was filled with the power of laws, filled with a world-destroying aura. Although I want to revive them, I still can't bear to watch. Zhao Tailai sighed and turned to look elsewhere. Innocent creatures, I'm sorry. The inner demons roared, and the power of the rules poured down from the sky like a torrent. The void was annihilated and the earth was shattered. It was a doomsday scene. He's actually apologizing? This is really unprecedented. Chui Li smiled. Yeah. I've known him for so long, but this is the first time I've heard him say those words. It seems that he has indeed changed. Tang Hai said. You can still laugh? Zhao Tailai raised his eyebrows. Old Zhao, I understand how you feel right now, but the inner demons is right. We don't have a choice now. If we don't open the slaughter zone, not only will we die, but the people here will also be killed by Snowflake. Because it controls the power of laws to travel through time. The Black Tortoise world can't stop it at all. Chui Li sighed. Zhao Tailai fell silent. Outside. The massacre was still ongoing. Lu Qiuyu and the little prince had died in the hands of Willow Tree and Yu Huang. Luo Qingzhu had also killed Jiang Zhengyi and his wife with her own hands. Although Jiang Zhengyi had also stepped into the false god realm, his strength was still too weak compared to Luo Qingzhu. After all, Qin Feiyang wasn't the only one who had become stronger. Luo Qingzhu had also become stronger. The Thunder Leopard, the Seal, the Seahorse, the Earth Dragon, and the others were also killed by Li Jian and the Crocodile Emperor. Many people had already stepped into the false god realm, including the Crocodile Emperor and the other beasts. Therefore, people like Old Master Ren, Yen Wei, and the others had no power to fight back. This was a one-sided massacre. However, no one felt the slightest joy because they were killing their former companions and their loved ones. This was torture. Haha, how wonderful. The demon ancestor laughed. Seeing everyone fall one by one, not only did he not have the slightest sympathy, but his expression became crazier. Inner demons, hurry up. Qin Feiyang clenched his hands tightly. His nails had sunk into his flesh, causing blood to flow. But his heart was even more painful. Sima Kun on the side had completely fallen into despair and couldn't extricate himself. Time passed by slowly. Finally, everyone except Lin Yi had been killed. Corpses piled up in the ancient castle. Ling Yunfei and others stood in the void, stained with blood. Their eyes had turned blood red. They didn't kill their eyes, but they hated Snowflake. It's over so soon. What a bunch of useless trash. The demon ancestor snorted coldly, looked at Qin Feiyang, and said, Do you want to continue playing? Sure. Qin Feiyang grinned. Ha, kid, you're really interesting. Okay, this lord will fulfill your wish. The demon ancestor laughed. With a wave of his hand, more than 100 people appeared in the void in an instant. These people were the more than 100 pseudo-gods under the demon ancestor. Kill them all for me. The demon ancestor shouted. Yes. The more than 100 pseudo-gods nodded in response. They immediately erupted with a terrifying aura and charged toward Ling Yunfei and others. Courting death. Qin Feiyang took a step forward, and his murderous aura soared into the sky. The demon ancestor said, Don't move, or this lord will kill you now. Qin Feiyang's face sank. Qin Feiyang, since he won't let you do it, then let us do it. I have no other request, just one. When this battle is over, please go to the Forgotten Continent and save everyone. Gong Sunbei glanced at the more than 100 pseudo-gods and lowered his head to look at Qin Feiyang. I'm sorry. Before returning to the Great Qin, should have left you on the Forgotten Continent. Now, I won't drag you into this. Qin Feiyang lowered his head and blamed himself. In truth, He was in a hurry to return to the Great Qin and had forgotten that Gongsun Bei was still in the ancient castle. You don't need to apologize to me. On the contrary, I want to thank you. Because you let me see with my own eyes how you and your companions protected the Great Qin and the people. Now, I completely understand that I was too blindly loyal in the past. If I can be revived, I will definitely be like you and silently protect the forgotten continent, even if I have to bear a lifetime of infamy. Gongsun Bei smiled and charged toward the pseudo-gods. Rumble. The more than 100 pseudo-gods' eyes were filled with disdain. The dozen or so people in the lead joined forces to attack Gongsun Bei. Gongsun Bei immediately fell, his blood staining the sky. Qin Feiyang took a step forward and hugged Gongsun Bei's corpse. He muttered, "Don't worry, I will definitely revive you." There was no suspense in this battle anymore. Facing more than 100 pseudo-gods, Ling Yunfei, Luo Qingzhu, the Kuanpeng following Luo Qingzhu, Lu Hong, Dan Wangkai, Fatso, the Willow Tree, Yu Huang, the Six Elders, the Crocodile Emperor, and the other beasts, in short, all the people and beasts fell one after another. Some were cut into pieces. Some were mercilessly crushed. However, Qin Feiyang worked hard to collect their blood. This group of people and beasts were his most important companions. Even if he died, he would not let them die. How is it? Seeing your companions die in front of you one after another, do you feel pain and despair? The demon ancestor laughed wildly. Yes. This feeling can make a person collapse. Qin Feiyang said. Haha, this is the result of going against me. How about this, seeing that your talent is not bad, why don't you follow me and I will let you go? The demon ancestor said. You killed my family and still want me to follow you, are you joking? Qin Feiyang could no longer hold back the anger in his heart, and his divine power roared in all directions. Those more than 100 pseudo-gods, accompanied by a series of shrill screams, were shattered on the spot, and blood mist filled the void. Seeing this, the demon ancestor's eyes suddenly revealed a hint of killing intent, and said, I told you not to move. Yes. Before, I really didn't dare to move, because I can't die yet. I want to revive everyone alive. But now, it's no longer up to you. Qin Feiyang shouted. The demon ancestor joked, it's not up to me. Is it still up to you? You're too conceited. If you had killed me at the first moment, then all of this would have been over. Unfortunately, you gave me time. Qin Feiyang said. Is that so? In that case, the disappearance of the inner demons is to prepare some big killing move? The demon ancestor said. Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded. Huh, what a surprise, you actually still have a trump card. But, are you sure you can threaten me? Do you know how terrifying this sovereign strength is? The demon ancestor raised his head and laughed, his face full of disdain. I don't know. But I know that you will definitely die today. Inner demons, appear. Qin Feiyang shouted. Boom. A shocking murderous aura, like a volcanic eruption, emerged in the void next to Qin Feiyang. Whoosh. Following closely. The inner demons appeared out of thin air. The blood-colored sword in his hand emitted a dazzling blood-red light, and the aura and sharpness that it released had reached an unprecedented level. The inner demons had not yet made a move, and the void within a radius of hundreds of thousands of miles had directly turned into chaos, terrifying beyond compare. The slaughter domain was still there. Inside, it was like a sea of blood, with blood waves surging. The inner demons stood in the slaughter domain, his blood-red hair fluttering in the wind, and he was a living god of death. This aura, this sharpness, the demon ancestor looked at the blood-colored sword at this moment, and his pupils constricted tightly. Even he had a premonition of uneasiness. For the sins you have committed, forgive me. The inner demons said word by word in a sonorous and forceful manner. Immediately, he took a step forward, raised the blood-colored sword in his hand, and slashed out angrily. Heaven and earth fell into silence. At this moment, it was as if time had stopped. Whether it was the demon ancestor, the inner demons, or Qin Feiyang, they could not hear any sound. They could only see the blood-colored sword, tearing through the chaos, and slashing towards Snowflake's body. Chapter 1862. Clang. This sword was like splitting the sky and earth apart. Accompanied by sparks, the Snowflake's body was cut in half by the blood-colored long sword on the spot. What? The demon ancestor was aghast. Lin Yi on the side was also dumbfounded. The snowflake was a heaven-defying divine artifact, but it was cut in half by a sword? Why is that? Why did the power of the blood-colored long sword suddenly become so terrifying? Seeing this scene, Qin Feiyang and the inner demons were also stunned. Because this was also the first time they opened the slaughter zone and witnessed the true horror of the kill tactic. This was not something that could be described with the word apocalyptic. The inner demons came back to his senses, and his eyes surged with blood as he roared, "Today is your doomsday." He took a step forward and charged at the demon ancestor. Even the snowflake's body was cut in half, let alone the demon ancestor's body. At this time, the inner demons was unstoppable. Bloody flames lingered all over his body, making him look like a killing god. The snowflake's artifact spirit looked at the inner demons at this moment, and couldn't help but feel a sense of fear. Once the slaughter zone is opened, I am invincible. The inner demons raised his sword and slashed. Thousands of sword chi turned into a huge wave and rolled toward the demon ancestor. The demon ancestor's face was pale. Slaughter zone. What kind of divine art is this? Seeing that the demon ancestor was about to be engulfed by the sword chi, the snowflake that was cut in half suddenly emerged with the power of law. Immediately after, the snowflake, the demon ancestor, Lin Yi, demon dragon, and demon pagoda disappeared without a trace. The inner demons raised his eyebrows. After being cut in half, he could still use the power of law. Not good. Go to the Black Tortoise world. Qin Feiyang suddenly shouted. Damn it! The inner demons also roared. The two entered the Black Tortoise world and saw the demon ancestor standing above the Devil's Land, holding an unconscious woman in his hand. The woman was the mermaid princess. Below, Zhao Tailai's trio, the Blood Kirin, and the Golden Divine Leopard stood together, all anxious. Qin Feiyang shouted, "Let her go." Let her go? Huh, the demon ancestor laughed as he held on to the mermaid princess tightly. The inner demons didn't dare to act rashly. Because killing the mermaid princess was equivalent to killing Qin Feiyang. Isn't it very powerful? Come and kill me if you can. However, your growth has truly exceeded this exalted's expectations. The fiend ancestor snickered. Qin Feiyang said solemnly, as a heaven-defying divine artifact that possesses the power of laws, you actually used such a despicable method. Do you feel ashamed? Trying to provoke me? You're too naive. Your so-called slaughter domain is indeed very frightening. Unfortunately, you all have not grasped the power of the laws. Without the power of law, no matter how heaven-defying the slaughter domain is, it can't do anything to me. Qin Feiyang, I will give you one last chance. Submit to me. Something's wrong. Hand over your physical body to me. The fiend ancestor said. You're interested in my physical body? Qin Feiyang frowned. That's right. As long as I can get your physical body and activate the slaughter domain, who else in this world can be my opponent? The fiend ancestor laughed loudly. You must be dreaming. Qin Feiyang sneered. Stubborn. I have always had a principle. Everything that I can't get must be destroyed. Go to hell for me. The fiend ancestor smiled ferociously. His 5 fingers suddenly exerted force, and the mermaid princess's head exploded like a watermelon. Bastard! The inner demons roared, holding the blood-colored long sword, and attacked frantically. It's useless. With the power of the laws, I can go anywhere. If you have the ability, come to the Forgotten Continent. The fiend ancestor laughed loudly. Snowflake activated the power of the laws again. Immediately. Lin Yi, the fiend ancestor, Snowflake, Demon Pagoda, and Demon Dragon disappeared from the sight of the inner demons. Damn it! Damn it! The inner demons flew into a rage. Zhao Tailai and the others were also furious. But suddenly. A scream of a pupil sounded. The inner demons was shocked and quickly turned his head to look. He saw Qin Feiyang bleeding all over at this moment. Zhao Tailai and the others' faces also changed drastically. They quickly flew to Qin Feiyang's side and said in shock and anger, "What's going on?" The inner demons landed in front of Qin Feiyang with a murderous aura. With a squelch, they tore apart Qin Feiyang's clothes. Immediately, shocking cracks began to appear on the ground. In the heart, the concentric knot was breaking. Those cracks were caused by the breaking of the concentric knot. With the concentric knot as the center, the cracks spread to Qin Feiyang's entire body. Is this the concentric knot? Inner demons, hurry up and think of a way, or the young master will die. Chui Li looked at the inner demons and cried out anxiously. I have no choice. The inner demons shook his head. What? Chui Li and the others' faces turned pale. The inner demons looked at Qin Feiyang and said in a deep voice, Deity, you can't die. I don't want to either. Qin Feiyang's consciousness did not disappear. However, he couldn't stop the cracks in his body. Quick, give him the healing pill. The blood Kirin suddenly roared. Zhao Tailai quivered and immediately took out a large number of healing pills and stuffed them into Qin Feiyang's mouth. However, it didn't work at all. Zhao Tailai cried out, Young master, hold on, you can't die. I'm sorry, Qin Feiyang muttered. Don't say such useless nonsense. Although I can open the gate of rebirth, I can't sacrifice myself to save everyone. That is to say, if you die here, everyone can't be resurrected. Don't think that I'm joking, you know my character. The inner demon snorted coldly. Qin Feiyang's gaze trembled. He could doubt anyone's words, except for the inner demons. If he said it, then he must be able to do it. I can't die. For mother, for grandpa, for those companions and friends who died for me, I absolutely can't die here. Qin Feiyang roared in his heart, and a strong desire to live emerged in his heart. But it was useless. The cracks on his body had already spread to his entire body. His body was on the verge of falling apart. Even his divine soul was cracking. What should I do? Qin Feiyang was desperate. His consciousness was gradually swallowed up. Finally, he closed his eyes unwillingly, and his consciousness fell into a deep darkness. Swish! But at this moment, beams of lights flashed out from Qin Feiyang's body. The inner demons, Zhao Tailai, and the rest were bewildered. What appeared from Qin Feiyang's body was the tens of thousands of cedars. Young man, we can feel your desire to live. Suddenly, a faintly discernible voice came from one of the cedars. This is, the inner demon's eyes widened. These cedars had indeed given birth to tree spirits. Your care and concern for your family, your care and concern for your companions, your compassion for the common people in the world, all of this makes us admire you very much. There are not many young people like you in the world, and you are worthy of our protection. Now, we will merge with you, and we hope that you can lead everyone to create a truly peaceful world. Before his voice died away, tens of thousands of cedars shattered in an instant, turning into sparkling and translucent light spots, and surged into Qin Feiyang's limbs and bones. Bang! A majestic life force suddenly exploded in Qin Feiyang's body. His broken body was immediately repaired at a speed visible to the naked eye. The cedars, Zhao Tailai and the others looked at this scene, and they were all extremely bewildered. They sacrificed themselves so that this esteemed one could be reborn. The inner demons endured the sadness in his heart, and with a plop, knelt in the void, and murmured, "Thank you." They sacrificed themselves so that the young master could be reborn. Zhao Tailai and the others murmured, and also knelt in the void one after another, bowing deeply. Soon, the cracks on Qin Feiyang's body were healed one by one. The life force of the cedars was also gradually exhausted. After a while, Qin Feiyang finally opened his eyes slowly, looking at the inner demons, Zhao Tailai, and the others kneeling in the void, and said in confusion, "Why am I not dead? Why are you kneeling in the void? Don't you know?" The inner demons got up, looked at Qin Feiyang, and asked, "What do I know?" Qin Feiyang was suspicious. The inner demon said, "It's the cedars, they saved you." The cedars? Qin Feiyang was taken aback, and hurriedly sank his mind into his body, but searching his entire body, he did not find a single cedar. "Don't look for it. Because they shattered their original bodies and merged with your body." The inner demon sighed. "What?" Qin Feiyang's body trembled. The inner demon said, "Before shattering their original bodies, they said one sentence, asking you to create a truly peaceful world." Qin Feiyang raised his two arms, looked at his hands, and his eyes were filled with tears. He remembered yesterday, when the inner demons were going through their tribulation, he said to the cedars that after this battle was over, he would return them their freedom. But he did not expect, at this moment, in order to save him, they all sacrificed themselves. "Young master." Zhao Tailai and the others wanted to comfort him, but they did not know where to start. It was rare for the inner demons to not disturb Qin Feiyang. Because in his heart, there was also a deep sense of gratitude towards the cedars. Phew! A moment passed. Qin Feiyang took a deep breath, knelt in the void, kowtowed 3 times and 9 times, and murmured, "I promise you, no matter how much I have to pay, no matter how difficult the road ahead is, I will definitely create a truly peaceful world." After saying that, he stood up, wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes, and turned his head to look at the inner demons. The two nodded at the same time, put away the mermaid princess's body, and appeared in the sky above the sea outside with Zhao Tailai and the others. "Lord Demon Ancestor," a murmur entered their ears. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice, and saw Sima Kun lying in the void, like a helpless child, crying bitterly. The demon ancestor had left, and the eye of despair had lost its effect. Therefore, he had already woken up. Qin Feiyang, inner demons, sensing the aura of Qin Feiyang and the others, his gaze trembled slightly, and he hurriedly raised his head to look at Qin Feiyang and the inner demons, asking, "Where is Lord Demon Ancestor? Did you see him?" "They have already gone to the Forgotten Continent," Qin Feiyang said. "Forgotten Continent," Sima Kun muttered, and then crawled in front of Qin Feiyang and begged, "I also want to go to the Forgotten Continent, please, help me. You saw it with your own eyes, the demon ancestor's consciousness has already been erased by the snowflakes, even if you chase after him to the Forgotten Continent, it will be useless." Qin Feiyang said. "It can't be, Lord Demon Ancestor must still be alive, I believe." Sima Kun shook his head and roared. Chapter 1863. Sigh. Qin Feiyang sighed deeply. It could be seen that Sima Kun and Sima Yuan's feelings for the demon ancestor were indeed very deep. In their eyes, the demon ancestor might really be like a father. However, people must die. Qin Feiyang raised his arm, and a stream of divine power gushed out from his fingertips, entering between Sima Kuan's eyebrows, shattering his soul on the spot. A bloody hole also appeared. Then, Sima Kuan fell down and was swallowed by the surging seawater. And the Wind-Moon Pavilion floated in the air, its divine light dim. This supreme-grade divine artifact is not bad. The inner demons laughed coldly and grabbed the Wind-Moon Pavilion. Facing Qin Feiyang and the inner demons, the Wind-Moon Pavilion's artifact spirit did not dare to resist at all. The inner demons turned to look at Qin Feiyang and asked, "How are we going to go to the Forgotten Continent next?" In this battle, everyone had died. The only ones left were Qin Feiyang, the inner demons, Zhao Tailai, Tang Hai, Chui Li, the Golden Leopard, and the Blood Kirin. It could be said that their losses were heavy. But the culprit, Snowflake, was still at large. If they did not get rid of it, they would not be satisfied. Qin Feiyang said, "The people of the Black Tortoise realm were all killed by you, right?" However, I kept a part of their blood. The inner demon said. Snowflake, Qin Feiyang clenched his fists and said fiercely, "Return to the capital immediately and think of a way to enter the Forgotten Continent." The inner demon said, "We still have to be fast. After all, the slaughter domain can only last for an hour." Qin Feiyang nodded. Swish. But at this moment, a man and a beast suddenly appeared in the void in front of Qin Feiyang and the others. Who? Killing intent surged in the eyes of Qin Feiyang and the others. But when they saw the man and beast clearly, they were stunned. It was actually Uncle Yuan and the Snow Python. Qin Feiyang asked excitedly, "Uncle Yuan, why are you here?" "He is Qin Yuan." Zhao Tailai, Tang Hai, Chui Li, and the Golden Leopard mumbled. Qin Yuan glanced at everyone. He looked at Qin Feiyang and the inner demons and smiled. "I've been paying attention to you guys." Qin Feiyang and the inner demons looked at each other. It was just as they had expected. Qin Yuan said, "I know you have a lot of questions in your hearts, but time is of the essence. You must hurry to the Forgotten Continent." Qin Feiyang said, "We're trying to think of a way to get there." "What ideas do you have?" Qin Yuan asked curiously. The two of them fell silent. "I knew that you couldn't do anything about it." Qin Yuan shook his head and smiled. He turned to look at the Snow Python and said, "If you agree to bet, you must accept your loss. Take it out." Qin Feiyang and the other man were stunned. They looked at the Snow Python suspiciously. "Humph." The Snow Python snorted coldly. Divine light flashed in front of it, and an ancient stone door appeared. "This is..." Qin Feiyang and the other man looked at the stone door. They were stunned for a moment, and then their faces were filled with ecstasy. This stone door was the real space-time gate. "Take it. They are all in the glacier forest. Go and end it all." Qin Yuan looked at Qin Feiyang and the other man and smiled. "Thank you, Uncle Yuan." The two of them said gratefully. They immediately dripped their blood on it and activated the space-time gate. The Blood Kirin, the Golden Leopard, and Tang Hai also activated their divine power and poured it into the space-time gate. Clang! Soon, the space-time gate opened. Qin Feiyang turned to look at Qin Yuan and asked, "Uncle Yuan, where can I find you in the future?" Qin Yuan smiled and said, "When everything is over, I will naturally appear in front of you." Qin Feiyang looked at Qin Yuan deeply. Then, he led the inner demons, Zhao Tailai, and the others into the space-time gate without looking back. Looking at the space-time gate that was gradually disappearing, the Snow Python said angrily, "You old thing, you are really cunning." "Why do you say that?" Qin Yuan looked at her, puzzled. "Still pretending." Do you dare say that you did not make a bet with me to give the spacetime gate to Qin Feiyang? The snow python said angrily. This is not cunning. This is a strategy. Qin Yuan chuckled. Glacier forest. Above the ice lake. At this moment, there were more than 1,000 people gathered together. The leader was a middle-aged man. He was about 1.8 meters tall. His facial features were sharp and his body was quite thin. He wore a golden robe and his body was full of a king's domineering aura. That's right. He was Mu Tianyang's younger brother, Mu Tianjun. Behind Mu Tianjun, there were two old men. They exuded a very powerful aura. They were Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun. The rest of the people were from the Black Tortoise World Celestial Emperor Empire. Lord Wuxianhou was the leader. Lord Wuxianhou was a fake god. The others were all 9-star combat emperors at the peak realm. This force was enough to sweep the Forgotten Continent. But at this moment, this group of people was nervous, including Mu Tianjun. They all looked at the void opposite them. There were two figures in the void opposite them. It was Demon Ancestor and Lin Yi. Snowflake's body was also on the side. Demon Dragon had also awakened, and his injuries were rapidly recovering. Demon Pagoda was also suspended above Demon Ancestor's head. Mu Tianjun glanced at Lin Yi, Demon Ancestor, Snowflake, Demon Dragon, and Demon Pagoda, and said in a deep voice, I really can't believe that such a powerful lineup would be defeated by Qin Feiyang. I'm really not in the mood to talk nonsense with you now. Take me to see your big brother, Mu Tianyang, immediately. Demon Ancestor frowned. How do I know if this is your trick? Mu Tianjun snorted coldly. Not to mention Demon Ancestor's subordinates, just Demon Ancestor and Snowflake were not people that Qin Feiyang could defeat. So he suspected. Qin Feiyang might have been killed, and Demon Ancestor and others came here to eradicate them. Bastard! Do you know what the situation is now? Can't you see that my body has been split in half? Qin Feiyang's strength is not as simple as you think. Now, only by joining forces with your big brother's blood blade can we get rid of him. Demon Ancestor said angrily. You are not Demon Ancestor? Mu Tianjun was surprised. Yes. Demon Ancestor, that trash's consciousness has been erased by me. Now, I am Demon Ancestor. Snowflake's weapon spirit said. You actually erased Demon Ancestor's consciousness. Mu Tianjun was in disbelief and looked at Snowflake's body again. Could all this be true? At the same time, Lin Yi raised her brows, turned to look at Demon Ancestor, and said, You are not my master? Yes. Your master has become a thing of the past. Now, I am your master. Demon Ancestor grinned. Damn you. Lin Yi's eyes surged with murderous intent. You? Demon Ancestor's face was full of disdain. His divine aura rolled out, immediately imprisoning Lin Yi in the void. I don't have time to deal with you now. You'd better be honest, otherwise, I will kill you too. Demon Ancestor laughed, looked at Mu Tianjun, and shouted, Don't test my patience again. Mu Tianjun's pupils contracted. Second uncle, please think twice. Father still needs some time to condense his divine soul. If this snowflake has ulterior motives, I'm afraid, Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun transmitted their voices worriedly. Clang! But before the two finished speaking, a deafening noise suddenly sounded in the sky. What's the situation? The group of people raised their heads and looked up in bewilderment. The void above them was twisting crazily. A terrifying divine aura rolled in all directions. This aura, Mu Changyun and Mu Changfeng's eyes trembled. Yes. It's the spacetime gate. Mu Tianjun said. What? The space-time gate? Could it be the snow python? Everyone was surprised. After a few breaths, a huge stone gate suddenly appeared in the sky. If it's not the space-time gate, what is it? Could it be the snow python? Everyone murmured. The next moment, a terrifying murderous aura roared out from the space-time gate. The sky above the glacier forest immediately collapsed crazily. Even the ground trembled, constantly cracking, and ravines appeared everywhere. This murderous aura, it's Qin Feiyang's inner demons. Demon ancestor roared. Inner demons. Mu Tianjuan's eyes trembled. Why is there such a terrifying murderous aura? Even he couldn't help but feel despair. And the space-time gate? Wasn't it said that the space-time gate was in the hands of the snow python? Why would it fall into the hands of Qin Feiyang's inner demons? Swish! Suddenly, a blood-colored figure stepped out from the space-time gate and appeared in front of the group of people. It was the inner demons. The murderous aura enveloped all directions, and the blood-colored sword in his hand exuded an apocalyptic sharpness. Damn it! Why is the space-time gate in your hands? Demon ancestor roared in disbelief. Humph! The inner demon snorted coldly, raised the blood-colored sword, and slashed in the air. Pieces of blood-red sword aura, like a tsunami in the ocean, rushed toward the group of people overwhelmingly. Second uncle, go to the space divine item. Mu Changfeng roared. Mu Tianjun said in a deep voice, the space divine item can't stop it, run. The group of people suddenly scattered and fled for their lives. Run? The inner demon sneered. The blood-red sword aura swept across the sky and drowned Mu Changyun and the others in an instant. Ah! Immediately, a series of screams resounded through the sky. The group of peak 9-star combat emperors and Marquis Wuxian had no power to resist and were shattered by the sword aura on the spot. Mu Changyun and Mu Changfeng only lasted for 2 breaths before they were torn into pieces by the sword aura. Blood splashed across the sky. Finally, only Mu Tianjun, Snowflake, Demon Ancestor, Demon Dragon, Demon Pagoda, and Lin Yi escaped. Of course. This was with the help of Snowflake, otherwise they would have died. A debt of blood must be repaid with blood. Suddenly, a cold voice sounded. This voice, it's not the inner demons. It's Qin Feiyang. Demon Ancestor looked up and saw that there were 4 people and 2 beasts beside the inner demons. It was Qin Feiyang, Zhao Tai Lai, and the 2 beasts, Blood Kirin. Why aren't you dead? Demon Ancestor's body trembled and looked at Qin Feiyang in surprise. Are you disappointed that I'm not dead? Qin Feiyang said. Impossible. There is no way to break the concentric knot. Could it be that the mermaid princess is not dead? Demon Ancestor was surprised. Qin Feiyang said, thanks to you, she is dead. Then why aren't you dead? Demon Ancestor said angrily. Qin Feiyang went silent, and there was a wisp of sorrow in his eyes that couldn't be dispersed as he suddenly shouted. Inner demon, kill them. The inner demons used the walk formula and instantly landed beside Lin Yi. He smashed Lin Yi's head with one palm. Immediately, with a wave of his hand, he sent Lin Yi's body to the Black Tortoise world and slashed at Demon Ancestor. Voila! Snowflake, who was cut in half, released a terrifying cold current. This world was instantly frozen. Nothing can stop my determination to kill all of you. Shatter! The inner demons roared to the sky. The blood-colored long sword shone brightly, and the ice that froze the world was instantly annihilated. Following that, the blood-colored long sword turned and slashed at Snowflake's body like lightning. Genius remembered this site's address in a second. Mobile version of reading website, M. Chapter 1864. Clang. Accompanied by a loud noise, dazzling flames burst out of the void. The snowflake that had already been split in half was once again split into 4 halves. Damn it, damn it! In this way, I can no longer activate the power of law. The demon ancestor roared. If you can't activate the power of law, then die. The inner demons smiled sinisterly, like a death god, and charged towards the 4 halves of the snowflake. As long as the snowflake's body was completely shattered, the weapon spirit of the snowflake could be destroyed. How can it be so powerful? Looking at this scene, Mu Tianyang's body trembled, and his face was pale. Before. He didn't believe it. Because the snowflake was a heaven-defying artifact with the power of law. No matter how strong Qin Feiyang was, it was impossible to threaten the snowflake. However, he didn't expect it to be true. The weapon spirit controlling the demon ancestor looked at the unstoppable inner demons and felt unprecedented despair. He roared, "Mu Tianyang, why don't you come out?" Mu Tianjun was also desperate to the extreme. Swish! Before his voice faded, a golden figure suddenly appeared beside Mu Tianjun. This person wore a golden crown and a golden dragon robe. His long hair fluttered in the void, like an emperor descending to the world. The emperor's power was awe-inspiring. Big brother, seeing this person appear, Mu Tianjun's face was filled with joy. That's right. This person was Mu Tianyang. At this time, his face was clearly visible. Like the demon ancestor, it was also the face of a young man. The bridge of his nose was high. His golden eyes seemed to be cast from gold leaf. His 2 thick black eyebrows were like 2 sharp arrows, revealing a shocking sharpness. Mu Tianyang looked at Mu Tianjun and said with a smile, "Fortunately, there are enough spirit congealing pills to allow me to quickly condense the divine soul. Otherwise, now, we can only be beaten." Mu Tianjun was extremely excited. High in the sky, Qin Feiyang held the spacetime gate in his hand and stared at Mu Tianyang, saying, "So this is your true appearance. Just like the demon ancestor, shameless." That's right. They're all antiques that have lived for tens of thousands of years, yet they still look so young. Chui Li and Zhao Tailai scoffed. Appearance isn't important. What's important is strength. Mu Tianyang's lips curled into a smile. So you're saying that you have the strength to fight me? The inner demon sneered at Mu Tianyang as they attacked Snowflake's body. The inner demons are the embodiment of evil. Even if you've changed now, you can't escape the control of the evil eye. Evil eye, activate. Mu Tianyang opened his mouth as a blood tide instantly gushed out from his golden eyes. In the meantime, a shocking evil aura spread across the place. The inner demons immediately froze in the void, an incomparably ferocious aura creeping up from between their brows. What happened? Zhao Tailai and the others were bewildered. I have a bad feeling about this. The aura of the inner demons is very similar to when they were first born. Qin Feiyang murmured. When they were first born? Zhao Tailai and the others were startled as they looked at Qin Feiyang. Yes. Back then, he wanted to kill me and replace me. And now, he's exactly the same as he was back then. Qin Feiyang said. How could this be? The inner demons have changed a long time ago. It's impossible for them to return to the past for no reason. Could it be the evil eye? Zhao Tailai and the others looked at Mu Tianyang. Don't look at his eyes. Qin Feiyang's expression changed as he hurriedly shouted. However, it was too late. Zhao Tailai and the others had already met Mu Tianyang's eyes. Their bodies froze in the void for a moment. Immediately after, a monstrous aura surged out. The evil eye is this emperor's battle spirit. As long as one has evil thoughts, they will not be able to escape the control of the evil eye. And the evil eye, together with the demon ancestor's eye of despair and Mu Qing's eye of heaven, are the top 10 battle spirits. Mu Tianyang raised his head and looked at Qin Feiyang. Evil eye, Qin Feiyang murmured as he looked at Mu Tianyang's eyes tentatively. In the end, he discovered that it seemed to be useless against him. The evil eye is indeed useless against you. Because all your evil thoughts are on the inner demons. Mu Tianyang said. The demon ancestor shouted, Mu Tianyang, quickly finish them off. Mu Tianyang glanced at the demon ancestor with a complicated expression as he muttered, this emperor has thought of many possibilities, but I never thought that your consciousness would be erased by the snowflakes. However, you deserve to die. Not only you, Qin Badian and Lu Zhengyang also deserve to die. Then, Mu Tianyang turned his head, stared at the inner demons, and shouted, go, kill your original body, and you will be the only Qin Feiyang. Mu Tianyang looked at Zhao Tailai and the others, and said, and you guys, as long as you kill Qin Feiyang, you will be free. Swoosh! The inner demons, the blood Kirin, the golden leopard, and Zhao Tailai all stared at Qin Feiyang in an instant. That ferocious gaze, that terrifying murderous aura, it was as if they had a blood feud with Qin Feiyang. Mu Tianyang looked at Qin Feiyang and said, Qin Feiyang, what are you going to do now? The demon ancestor reminded him, don't be careless. He has also opened the eye of heaven. What? Mu Tianyang was stunned as he looked at the demon ancestor and said, are you talking about the second eye of heaven? That's right. The demon ancestor nodded. This is unbelievable. Mu Tianyang muttered. He looked up at Qin Feiyang and said, I didn't expect you to hide it so well. Qin Feiyang said, I didn't expect you to open this kind of battle soul either. Huh, so what if you open the eye of heaven? The eye of heaven can indeed copy all attacks, including this emperor's evil eye. But even if you copy the evil eye, you won't be able to awaken the inner demons. Unless the eye of nothingness makes all battle souls useless. It's a pity that Lu Jiajin, who opened the eye of nothingness, is not by your side right now. Mu Tianyang said. It's true that duplicating the evil eye now won't be of any use, but, speaking of which. Qin Feiyang looked at Zhao Tailai and the other two and the blood Kirin. He then lowered his head to look at the inner demons, and a smile appeared in his eyes. But what? Mu Tianyang raised his eyebrows. Qin Feiyang said, didn't you notice that the inner demons haven't moved? Mu Tianyang looked at the inner demons, then at Zhao Tailai and the others. He frowned. Although the inner demons and Zhao Tailai were staring at Qin Feiyang, they did not attack Qin Feiyang. They are struggling. The demon ancestor shouted. How is that possible? It's understandable that Zhao Tailai and the others are struggling. But the inner demons are the embodiment of evil. They are the source of evil. How can they escape the control of the evil eye? Mu Tianyang muttered. He looked up at Qin Feiyang and shouted, why is that? Why? Qin Feiyang muttered. His eyes suddenly became sharp and said, okay, I'll tell you why. Because we rely on each other and trust each other. We treat each other as real partners, real friends, and even family. Nothing can cut off the bond between us. Do you understand now? Inner demons, Old Zhao, Old Tang, Chui Li, Blood Kirin, Junior Leopard, wake up. Qin Feiyang roared. His voice was like a bell, echoing in the minds of the inner demons and the others. Boom! Immediately. The inner demons, Zhao Tailai, and the others trembled and suddenly woke up. My evil eye actually failed? No. This must be a dream. Mu Tianyang shook his head. His face was full of disbelief. Then you can continue to dream in hell. The inner demons was furious. He raised his blood-red sword and slashed at Mu Tianyang with murderous intent. "Brother, watch out!" Mu Tianjun roared. He quickly stepped forward and pushed Mu Tianyang away. Just as Mu Tianjun pushed Mu Tianyang away, the blood-red sword came. The terrifying sword chi drowned Mu Tianjun. Ah! With a shrill scream, Mu Tianjun's physical body was shattered on the spot. His spirit was also drowned in an instant. Second brother. Mu Tianyang came back to his senses and turned his head to look at this scene. He suddenly gritted his teeth and roared hysterically. So pitiful. He just came back to life and he's going to die again. The inner demon sneered. The blood-red sword swung, and Mu Tianyang's shattered body was immediately obliterated by the sword chi. Not even a strand of hair was left. Second brother, Mu Tianyang was paralyzed in the void. Last time, Mu Tianjun died, but with the divine body, he could be resurrected. But this time, not even a trace of his soul was left. He was completely dead and there was no possibility of resurrection. I'm not as merciful as my ancestor. As long as it's an enemy, I will kill them all. Mu Tianjun is just one of them. It's your turn next. The inner demons raised the blood-red sword and pointed the blade at Mu Tianyang and Snowflake. Their eyes were filled with a dazzling blood-red light. Terrifying. How terrifying. On a nearby mountain peak, a young man in black looked at the inner demons on the battlefield with a face full of shock. This person was Dong Zhengyang. Behind a dense bush behind Dong Zhengyang, a man and a beast were lurking. It was Tan Wu and the infernal divine hound. The man and the beast both restrained their auras to the extreme and stared at Dong Zhengyang like two ghosts. That's right. They had been following Dong Zhengyang since they came out of the divine sight. The infernal divine hound said, "Little scum, what do you think this guy wants to do? I can't see through him at all." Tan Wu shook his head and said, "Why don't we go out and kill him while his attention is on Qin Feiyang?" The infernal divine hound asked. Tan Wu hurriedly said, "Don't be impulsive. We still don't know whether he is an enemy or a friend. I say, how long are you going to follow him?" Suddenly, Dong Zhengyang's voice rang out. Tan Wu and the infernal divine hound were shocked. Had they been discovered? The infernal divine hound's eyes suddenly flashed with a fierce light. Since they had been discovered, they might as well go all the way. Don't move. He may have just felt that someone was following him and didn't realize that it was us. Tan Wu said secretly. However, before his voice fell, Dong Zhengyang suddenly turned his head and looked at them. Two divine lights flashed out of his dark eyes. The bush in front of Tan Wu and the infernal divine hound was immediately shattered. Tan Wu and the infernal divine hound immediately dodged, avoiding the bombardment of the two divine lights. Tan Wu looked at the two divine lights that flashed into the distance and patted his chest with lingering fear. He got up and looked at Dong Zhengyang and said with a smile, "Brother Dong, this is a misunderstanding. Don't fight and hurt our friendship." Misunderstanding? Dong Zhengyang waved his hand and the two divine lights dissipated. Then, he looked at the man and the beast expressionlessly. Please remember the domain name of this book. The mobile version of the Literature Library reading website. Chapter 1865. Yes, it's a misunderstanding. We didn't follow you. We just sensed the battle fluctuations here, so we came to take a look. Tan Wu laughed. Dong Zhengyang's expression still did not change. Being stared at by Dong Zhengyang like this, Tan Wu and the Hellhound couldn't help but feel a little guilty. A moment later, Dong Zhengyang retracted his gaze and looked back at the battlefield where Qin Feiyang and the others were, and said, "You have been following me since I left the miracle. I want to know, what exactly are you suspecting me of? This, Tan Wu and the Hellhound looked at each other. They had actually been discovered by this person long ago? Dong Zhengyang said, "You are Qin Yuan's people, following me. Are you suspecting that I am harmful to Qin Feiyang?" "What? You even know this?" One man and one beast were surprised. "What I know is far more than you can imagine. I have also seen your fate. Soon, all of you will die here just like Mu Tianjun." Dong Zhengyang whispered. Tan Wu was slightly stunned and frowned. "You mean, Qin Feiyang will kill us?" "No. Qin Feiyang will not kill you. Because the person who will kill you is me." Dong Zhengyang waved his hand, and two strands of divine power entered Tan Wu and the Hellhound's forehead like lightning. A bloody hole appeared, and blood splattered in the sky. It's actually the war god." One man and one beast stared at Dong Zhengyang with round eyes, and then fell to the ground and died. "It's about to reach the critical moment. I will never let anyone hinder my plan," Dong Zhengyang muttered. After killing Tan Wu and the Hellhound, his expression did not change at all, as if he had done something extremely ordinary. Then he looked at Qin Feiyang and the others, put his hands in front of his chest, and quickly formed a seal. Buzz! Wisps of blood-colored divine light emerged from his 5 fingers. Not long after, 3 blood-red pentagrams appeared, emitting a strange aura. Following closely, Dong Zhengyang leaned forward and pressed his hands to the ground. The 3 blood-red pentagrams immediately sank into the ground and disappeared. At the same time, the battlefield. The inner demons held blood-red swords in their hands. Their blood-red hair danced in the wind as if they were gods of death, intimidating everyone present. The weapon spirits of the snowflake, the demonic dragon, and the demonic pagoda couldn't help but tremble in the void. This was fear. It was despair. The inner demons were so terrifying and powerful. Who could compete with them? Mu Tianyang stood in the void, his entire being sinking into pain and sorrow. He was a heartless monarch. He could give up on anyone. But only Mu Tianjun. This was because he had doted on his younger brother since he was young. Mu Tianjun, on the other hand, had always been obedient and respectful to him. He originally thought that when his younger brother, Mu Tianjun, was resurrected, the two of them would work together to create glory again. However, he didn't expect that everything would end before it even started. "Heavenly Monarch, I'm sorry. 10,000 years ago, I didn't protect you well. 10,000 years later, I watched you die in front of me. I'm really useless. I don't deserve to be your big brother at all." Mu Tianyang shook his head, tears dripping down his face. He blamed himself. As a heartless monarch, how could he shed tears? This scene surprised Qin Feiyang and the inner demons. It could also be seen that Mu Tianyang really cared about his younger brother. However, a pitiful person must have something to hate. If Mu Tianyang wasn't eliminated, the world wouldn't be at peace. Go and reunite with Mu Tianjun. The inner demon's murderous aura surged into the sky as he took a step toward Mu Tianyang. "Damn it, it's you. Blood Blade, help me kill him." Mu Tianyang roared, his anger soaring to the heavens. Clang! With a flash of blood-red light, the blood blade appeared. The power of law immediately rushed toward the inner demons. The power of law of the blood blade was time reversal. Back in the ancient world, Qin Feiyang had already seen it, and it was extremely terrifying. However, although the blood-red sword didn't have the power of law, its power had already surpassed the blood blade. As long as the blood blade was destroyed, the power of law would be broken. Time reversal? But do you know? How much did we pay in order to open the slaughter zone? If we lose here, how can we face those dead souls? The inner demons roared into the sky. The blood-red sword cut through the sky and stood on the blood blade. With a loud clang, the blood blade was cut in half on the spot. The power of law became much weaker in an instant. This, Mu Tianyang's body and mind trembled. You must die. Not for anything else, but for the countless lives I killed with my own hands. The inner demons swung his sword again. Sword chi flooded the sky, accompanied by sparks. The broken blood blade immediately shattered into pieces. Why is he so powerful? Mu Tianyang looked at the inner demons and the blood-red sword in a daze. His face was full of fear. Even the blood blade and snowflake couldn't block the sharpness of the blood-red sword. What level of divine weapon was it? He still didn't know that this blood-red sword was formed by the kill formula. He also didn't know that the slaughter zone had killed all the creatures in the Black Tortoise world. Although the slaughter zone was heaven-defying, the price to pay was too heavy and too bloody. If it weren't for the fact that they had no choice, Qin Feiyang and the inner demons wouldn't have used this ultimate killing move. At this moment, whether it was Mu Tianyang and the Blood Blade, Snowflake, Mo Pagoda, or Mo Long, they all fell into deep despair. But compared to Snowflake, Mo Long, and Mo Pagoda, Mu Tianyang's heart was more aggrieved. No matter what, Mo Long and the others had fought with Qin Feiyang for a night in the Sea of Reincarnation. And him? He had just merged with the divine body and returned to his peak state. He didn't even have time to properly experience the feeling of returning to his peak strength before he fell into a desperate situation. He couldn't accept it. But facing the inner demons at this moment, he really didn't have the courage to fight. Too strong. It was far beyond the range of what he could bear. The inner demons looked at Mu Tianyang, Snowflake, Blood Blade, Mo Long, and Mo Pagoda, and said, "Your era has come to an end. In the future, no one will remember that you still exist." Clang! The inner demons waved the sword and rushed toward Mu Tianyang and the others with murderous intent. At this moment, Dong Zhengyang, who was standing on the mountain peak, whispered, "Seal of Destiny, open." As his voice fell, the ground below Qin Feiyang and the others suddenly trembled violently. What's going on? Everyone was surprised. Before they could react, streaks of blood-red light emerged from the ground like a volcanic eruption. Following closely. On the ground directly below Qin Feiyang, Mu Tianyang, and the demon ancestor, 3 blood-red pentagrams suddenly appeared. The pentagrams shone with blood-red light, like 3 pillars of light, rushed into the sky and shrouded Qin Feiyang and the other 2. What is this? Qin Feiyang and the other 2 were surprised. Why would 3 pentagrams suddenly appear on the ground below? What was even stranger was that these pentagrams didn't have the slightest sense of danger. Even inside the blood-red light, there was an indescribable warmth. In the blink of an eye. Before they could react, a pentagram's mark appeared between their eyebrows. After the mark appeared, the blood-red light quickly dissipated. The pentagrams on the ground below also disappeared. Deity, between your eyebrows. The inner demons paused and raised his head to look at the mark between Qin Feiyang's eyebrows in surprise. Between my eyebrows? Qin Feiyang was stunned and quickly waved his hand. The void in front of him shook and became transparent, like a mirror. What's going on? Looking at the mark between his eyebrows, Qin Feiyang's expression suddenly froze. Following that, he looked at Mu Tianyang and the demon ancestor again and found that the mark between their eyebrows was exactly the same as the mark between his eyebrows. This is the Seal of Destiny. Suddenly, a calm voice sounded. This voice, Qin Feiyang quickly raised his head and saw the distant void. A young man in black was walking towards them step by step. Dong Zhengyang. The inner demons also frowned. They were originally wondering where this person was. They didn't expect him to be hiding nearby. Seal of Destiny, at the same time. Above a mountain. Qin Yuan raised his head and looked at Dong Zhengyang in the void image in front of him with a thoughtful look. On the other hand, the snow python at the side looked a little excited. Suddenly, Qin Yuan seemed to have thought of something and his gaze trembled slightly. He turned to look at the snow python and asked in surprise, "Why does Dong Zhengyang have the seal of destiny? Don't you already have the answer in your heart?" The snow python sneered. "Impossible. Back then, we all saw him die in front of us with our own eyes. This Dong Zhengyang, could it be his successor?" Qin Yuan said. "Passed in? Dong Zhengyang is him. He didn't die at all." The snow python said. Qin Yuan said in shock, "You mean, he took over Dong Zhengyang's body?" "That's right. Back then, he saw his destiny and knew that he couldn't escape, so he split a wisp of his soul in advance and went to the spiritual state to enter the body of a young man. This young man is Dong Zhengyang." The snow python said. "I see." Qin Yuan suddenly understood and said, "Then why didn't he go anywhere else but to the spiritual state?" The snow python said, "Because he saw the future in the spiritual state." "What future?" Qin Yuan frowned. About this, the snow python pondered for a moment and said, "I think it's better to wait for him to tell you personally." Qin Yuan raised his eyebrows and looked up at Dong Zhengyang, his face full of suspicion. The seal of destiny? Above the glacier forest. Dong Zhengyang was standing in the void opposite Qin Feiyang and the others. Even in the face of the inner demons, he was not moved at all. And Mu Tianyang was no stranger to Dong Zhengyang. As for Snowflake, although the demon ancestor's consciousness had been erased by it, it had obtained all of the demon ancestor's memories, so it knew a little about Dong Zhengyang. Dong Zhengyang glanced at Mu Tianyang and the others, then looked at Qin Feiyang and said with a smile, "Brother Qin, before leaving the miracle, I specially reminded you to be careful of me. Why didn't you remember? You let me get away with it so easily." Qin Feiyang's pupils contracted. The aura that Dong Zhengyang exuded at this moment was not that of a false god, but of a war god. The inner demons waved its long sword and looked at Dong Zhengyang with murderous intent, asking, "What is the seal of destiny you mentioned just now?" You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.